Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Mm-hmm. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. And Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there. Sure. Yeah. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here. Based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information.
Thumbtack presents the ins and outs of caring for your home. Out. Uncertainty, self-doubt, stressing about not knowing where to start. In. Plans and guides that make it easy to get home projects done. Out. Word art. Sorry, live, laugh, lovers. In. Knowing what to do, when to do it, and who to hire. Start caring for your home with confidence. Download Thumbtack today.
This week, in Chubbuck, Idaho, two young film buffs try their best to achieve infamy while videotaping their exploits in an attempt to join the ranks of their favorite serial killer heroes. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us again this week. We are excited. I hope you've enjoyed the last few weeks because we've been on a wild run lately, and it's not going to stop today. No. It's a crazy story today. People you will want to definitely punch right in the face when you hear about them, so that's going to be a lot of fun. But before we get to that, quickly, just want to say thank everybody for their reviews this week. Thank you, guys. Means a lot to us. We don't know why it means a lot, but it helps drive you up the charts. So please, if you haven't yet, do that. Get on that purple icon there. I was going to say iTunes, but it's Apple Podcasts. I'm stuck in the past of, I don't know, 2 years ago. What are we going to do?
Stuck in pre-corona.
Yeah, do that. 5 stars are great. Doesn't matter what you say. It just helps drive us up the charts.
This is going to be our pre-9/11, post-9/11.
Yeah, no shit.
It's this generation.
No shit.
Pre-corona, everything was fine.
I mean, geez, well, that 2 years. I mean, it was iTunes. I mean, what do you want? So thank you for that. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com for everything small town murder and crime and sports, which you should listen to every Tuesday. Wild stuff going on there in crime and sports, as always, so check that out. All sorts of new merch up all the time, especially small town murder merch. There's a ton of new small town murder merch up right now. You can get tickets to live shows.
It's so fun to say out loud.
Or whenever the hell they're taking place, because I think a lot of them now are being rescheduled for the second time.
Yeah.
So, get your live, whatever, they transfer. So if you buy tickets to a show, whenever that show happens, and eventually it'll happen, you'll have a ticket to the show. So do that. Buy your tickets and do that. Also, every Friday, listen to P.S. I Hate This Movie, where we make fun of romantic comedies and mock them very badly. So check that out. If you want to be a hero of ours, a huge hero, one of our producers, you can do that very easily. And not only will you be a hero and a producer, but you will get access to tons of bonus stuff, all sorts of bonus stuff, including this week's bonus episode for Small Town Murder, which is weird small town festivals. A lot of people have requested that we talk about weird small town festivals, like we do at the end of the town stuff. So that's our bonus episode this week. Very weird, and you're going to need it as a palate cleanser. So check that out. And there's all sorts of stuff. We do different things every week. We keep the variety going, and you get access to everything with crime and sports as well. So do that. That is at patreon.com/crime and sports, or head over to PayPal and use our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com. If you just want to be a hell of a person,
you can be
just a nice person, and give a donation and be a producer. So do all of that. Thank you guys for everybody who does do it. Let's do the disclaimer quickly. Comedy show, everybody. This is a comedy show. We are comedians. The stories are real. We don't make anything up to make them funny. That's not what this is about. The point is, you find stories that are so crazy that nothing needs to be made up. It's like a crazy movie. And that's what we're finding here. And the story is no different than any of the others. We try our best to not be jerks. That's the thing. We go out of our way not to make fun of the victims or the victims' families because we're assholes, but we're not scumbags.
There you go.
That's right. We make fun of other things. We make fun of stuff around it. We make fun of a small town because we're all from small town. Who cares? Everybody's from a dump. You know what I mean? We make fun of murderers. That's what this show is about, generally. Making fun of murderers. So it's not about making fun of victims. It's about making fun of assholes who do bad things. And that's what we do here.
The ones that deserve it.
And the crazy situations around it. So if that sounds good to you, awesome. If it does not sound good, you shouldn't listen to the show probably and then complain. Or if you do listen, don't say, hey, there was jokes in there. You've been warned. So that's how that goes. But for the rest of you who want to have a good time and hear a crazy story, I think it's time. to sit back and shout, shut up and give me murder. Let's do this, Jimmy.
I would love it.
Let's go. Let's go on a trip. Okay. We were down in the southeast last week.
Not too bad.
Not too bad. Now we're going clear across the country, northwest-wise. We're going to Idaho. Oh, boy. Potatoes and militias. Here we go. We're going to Chubbuck, Idaho.
What?
Chubbuck, Idaho.
Okay.
Chubbuck. It's one of the silliest named towns we've had so far.
Pretty dumb.
It's in southeastern Idaho.
Okay.
Down there, outside of the Panhandle. Going up north.
It's the fat area.
It's the fat area. It's the Pan. This is the Pan. It's about 3 hours and 20 minutes to Boise. Over to the west. About 2.5. He said, like he knows where it is.
I do.
You do know where
I've
this is?
I've been to this area.
You've been to Chubbuck?
I've never
been
to
Chubbuck. It's right by Pocatello.
Yeah, it's right by Pocatello.
It's right outside Pocatello.
Idaho Falls. It's right there.
It's right outside Pocatello. 2.5 hours down to Salt Lake City. And about 3 hours and 20 minutes to Garden City, which is right outside Boise. So that's episode 122. That's our last Idaho
Southeastern
episode.
Idaho is a wild-ass place, man.
Been a year. It's interesting, as we'll find out here. And this is just like a suburban kind of town, but it's a weird place. This is in Bannock County, Bannock, zip code 83202, area code 208. It's about 4.25 square miles. So
it's a little one.
It's a little town. I mean, it's a nice little town. It's wedged in, like I said, next to Pocatello. Chubbuck. Seems like a suburb or some shit.
Sounds like what a guy in Lubbock, Texas calls his dick.
This is my Chubbuck. How you doing?
I'm Paul from Lubbock. Let me show you my Chubbuck.
Let me introduce you to my Chubbuck. So the motto of this town is, quote, built for business, designed for living.
Wow.
What? Okay. Or the
built
other
for
one.
Business. They didn't show up, so we figured,
we built it for business, but we said, let's design. Well, they should be able to live here too, right? All right, I guess. I mean, sure. So I suppose. I mean, fuck. They're gonna have to work there. I guess they can live there.
That area of the state has very little there. There's not a lot of commerce. It's not.
We'll hear about that. Even in this town, it's pretty. It seems pretty bleak for how many people are here. It's like really weird. So that is the one built for business, designed for living, and the other one that's a little less lesser known, is Chubbuck. Isn't that hilarious? Don't you want to live in a town with a hilarious name?
Doesn't it sound goofy?
Isn't it fun? So we're going to call that back in a little bit too, by the way. So history of this town. In the early 1800s, there were some hunters and trappers that came here. This is pretty much should still only be the only people there should be hunters and trappers, I believe.
Pretty much is.
I don't know why anyone's there except to spread the LDS word. Yeah. I'm not sure why anyone's there.
My buddy Casey's dad has a room that would solidify your thought, hunter, and his living room is just fucking dead animals everywhere.
Heads and pelts and
rugs
shit
and
everywhere.
Heads and it's just dead shit everywhere.
Wow. A lot of shit to kill around there, I guess. So yeah, the first settlers here were the Bannock and the Shoshone Indians. Yeah. John C. Fremont came to the area here in about 1843 and said, this is a good area for agriculture. We're going to grow shit here, I think. Mainly potatoes.
Yeah. The ground is fertile. We'll give them that.
Potatoes, as far as the eye can see. What do you say here? The city got its name from a railroad conductor. That's it. The guy's name was Earl Chubbuck. That's why it's a bad name, because nobody made it up and was like, that's good, right? It's
train not going on by. What's your name, sir?
What's your name? Earl Chubbuck.
he said Chubbuck? That's fucking hilarious.
I don't know what the hell he said. I think it was Chubbuck. We'll just write that down, I guess. I don't know. He started the train horn in the middle of his last name. I don't know.
He may have said we're headed to Lubbock.
He said, I don't know what the fuck that means. It could have been Chesterfield. Let's call him Chubbuck, though. Formerly, it was called Chubbuck Beat Run.
Okay.
And then they said, well, no one's going to come here. That sounds terrible. We're not naming it that. Yeah. No one wants beats. Let's not do this. They later shortened it to Chubbuck Siding. I don't know. It sounds like a place that sells like vinyl siding.
Awful shit on houses.
In Chubbuck.
Yeah.
And eventually they dropped that because they said, that's dumber than Chubbuck. How are we making this worse? Our name is Chubbuck, and we're putting worse things on the end of it to confuse and make stupider. So let's not do that. Silly. There was no land open for settlement at the time, but quickly they kind of grew into a frontier town, and it was wide open, and there's no rules and no law, and this is the opposite of what it is now.
Yeah.
Well, now it's it's Mormon. Let's be honest here. So it's heavily closed. Right. It's not wide open. Would be the opposite of what it is.
Bars serve beer and wine. That's it.
Yeah,
it's weird.
This here though was a different thing. This was like Deadwood, basically, out here. Oh my God, saloons and gambling, 24 hours a day, no closing time. I mean, even the Gem Saloon, even Al Swearingen closed down for a couple hours to,
wipe the jizz off the walls.
Wipe the jizz off the walls, yell at Trixie up in his room, and then put his weird pajamas on, put his weird filthy pajamas on.
He hasn't washed ever.
He's one of the wealthiest guys in town. Clean your pajamas, Al. What the fuck are you doing? Just wondered that about Deadwood. I'm like, Al, clean your pajamas are filthy. Wouldn't you want to sleep in something nice and clean?
At least drop them off to a fucking clothery somewhere and have them wash them.
He's got Woo. Woo does meat, but there's also laundry services down there that Woo's in control of. What the hell are you doing? Get your shit washed.
Climbing into filthy PJs?
Yeah.
That's
it's disgusting. Stains all over them and shit. There's like hooker blood stains everywhere.
Awesome.
This is the stain of a prostitute I fired last week. It's disgusting. So anyway.
I'm going to go get some memes in this.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So this it was just out of control and wild. And then people wanted to come here though and settle rather than it just being this lawless no man's land with Indian territory and no law. It was like Deadwood, exactly the same as Deadwood in the show. Mm-hmm. So finally the U.S. government was pressured into purchasing about 2,000 acres of reservation land from Indians, and they used that to build the town site. And they surveyed it in 1889. They sold lots off at auction. The lots ranged from $10 to $50.
What a deal
for a chunk of Idaho.
I'm in.
Hey, why not?
It's gorgeous, James. It's so beautiful.
It's so bleak.
It is. There's nothing there.
There's nothing.
It's
there.
Awesome.
You're not close enough to anything to drive there, and I don't count Salt Lake City as anything. By the way,
the closest thing is awful.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The closest thing is we're going to go to Montana for the day. Oh wow, Montana, Jesus! Hold on.
Although Wyoming is dope.
Let me take my heart medication. The excitement might kill me if we go to Wyoming and maybe run into a person since there's nobody there. Wyoming is the most bleak fucking post-apocalyptic landscape I've ever been to in my life. One road that goes through it. They're like, if it snows, y'all got to stay till the spring. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, where am I? What planet is this?
Yeah.
Is this Siberia? No. Put fucking roads through here.
Unless if you are
There's no
tired,
people, though.
If you're tired of seeing them, that's a great place to get away from them.
That's true.
That's nice.
True. Yeah, but it's bad though. It's weird. People in Wyoming were like, "We're supposed to be inside." I haven't even noticed. I haven't seen a person in 6 months anyway. Fuck it.
Buffalo with the sniffles a few months ago.
I was a little worried about that, but I just gave him a Claret and he went away. That's what you do.
Yeah.
So
took a nap and he felt better.
Yeah, you know how it goes here. So this sale, you know, obviously people started to get their land, and then they started, buildings had already been going, and now after the land became official, and it was an official like kind of territory, then it exploded and people came here. Some buildings had already been erected, but then people would purchase the sites that the buildings were on because they were erected. They'd build buildings on
like squatters,
on owned land, basically. So now people would buy that land and they'd be like, cool. And they go visit their land and there's shit on it already and people living there.
Raise that, obviously.
Okay. Yeah. So there was a bunch of trouble. And the problem was the courts ended up honoring the squatters' rights.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Because they had built stuff and improved it. So that was
a grain silo. You want this land?
So that was a problem. If you built a store, you were allowed to secure a title to its holdings and shit like that. So if you actually built something, you were there. Now, this is pretty funny here. This is from IdahoGenealogy.com.
Oh boy.
And they just basically talk about Idaho's got no claim to fame.
Nothing.
It's really boring. Keep on driving, basically.
That makes sense.
It says, this is from their thing, quote, probably no state in the union is less known than Idaho. Wyoming has her Buffalo Bill, Colorado her Pikes Peak, Nevada her far-built but ill-famed Reno, Utah her famous Salt Lake, all known throughout the English-speaking world. But Idaho, rich in natural resources, fertile and prosperous, has furnished no Wild West tragedy like that of Custer in Wyoming to attract the attention of writers. She possesses no natural wonder to rival Niagara Falls or the Grand Canyon. She has produced no Kit Carson or Daniel Boone to fire the adventurous blood of 10-year-olds. This was written in the 50s, obviously, but basically...
Vegas hadn't been really going.
Yeah, the Reno was the thing.
Right.
This place sucks, is what they said. Want to come here? Look around. Hey, you can make it famous, because nothing famous is going on.
We're Idaho, where we don't even have a Reno.
No, we're envious of Reno. Do you understand that? We look at Reno in wide-eyed admiration. Do you get how fucked up the mentality is behind that? We're looking at it going, shit, if only we would have thought of, God damn it, look at them. Look at them over there in their trailers just moving around. God, they're so happy.
And it's so close to us,
so happy right there. I could just tell. I know. I could see them.
What a shithole.
What a shithole. Idaho, your shithole. So, by the way, everywhere's a shithole, like we said, so calm down. Now, I have reviews of this town.
Right.
Here we go. Let's start with a couple of 2 stars. Mm-hmm. These are the good reviews of the batch, the 2 stars.
There's a mentions of Perkins, isn't there?
Oh, there's no Perkins mention, but they really should mention Perkins. Yeah. I feel like a Perkins would brighten this place up. That's how bad this place is.
It's about the best they've got there.
That's rough, because Perkins sucks.
There might be. No, I don't think there's a Red Lobster in Pocatello. There might be. I doubt it.
Who knows? Who knows?
It's so bad.
I'm sure there's an Olive Garden.
I'm sure.
I'm sure there's an Olive Garden if you want to get terrible food. You don't have to go to Red Lobster to get your
area, though.
You don't want to go there to get your bad food. You can go to Olive Garden to get your bad food. So here's a 2-star review. Quote, the job market is a struggle here, and here is spelled HEAR, which might be why you're struggling in the market, sir or ma'am. Not sure. It doesn't say
4-letter words are a challenge
here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of kids that are trying to make it and have to work 2 jobs just to afford to barely make ends meet. MEAT.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I know. Maybe it's speak to text or something, but check it. Just check it. Do a proofread. I know that without a degree, to make $1,600 a month is a great achievement. A lot of call centers and student college wage jobs. This is why low income is so high in this area. It's actually really not. We'll talk about that. Here's a 2-star. 2-star. This is very specific I love when they're just airing their own beef. That's my favorite. 2-star quote, we would like to participate in recycling more, but are unaware of any free recycling areas. Oh, this is where
you pay to recycle?
Why don't you ask somebody rather than review the town that way? The only option to recycle I know of costs extra, which we cannot afford while in school, and even that recycling option has limitations on which products can be recycled. So the Boise State's right by here, as you know, so there's a lot of students. Now we go to the 1 stars. Those are like, it could be better. Here's the 1 stars. 1 star. Quote, it smells like dead fish here. And they spelled fish right. They spelled here right. The town is ugly and the people are mean. That's fucking beautiful. That's succinct right there. Literally, the only attraction is the name. Chubbuck. It's just fun to say. Chubbuck. Try it. See?
They're right.
They know. They're on the board, I think, of whoever did that. 1 star, here's another quote. There is little to no attractions within this railroad junction we call a city. Oh my. Jesus, that's like the beginning of a fucking Dickens novel.
Yeah, real Walt Whitman.
That's really got like
a picture.
Dark. I mean, it's just like a real putting a cloud right over everything. The Simplot games are a large part of local events. Okay. 1 star, there is little to no variety in food and drink in Pocatello, Idaho. This is back in your theory of no Red Lobsters.
Yeah, it's real bleak.
It's bad. Now, here's another one. 1 star. This person's from Albuquerque, but they've been there several times, as they'll say.
Somebody from Albuquerque
is complaining. I had to put that they're from Albuquerque, so they know shit.
They do.
This person knows shit when they see shit.
I trust them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. This is like a chef from Olive Garden going somewhere and seeing a pile of shit, and they go, "I recognize that. I served that a lot." So here we go. It's the title of the review is Horrible Air Quality. 1 star. I have spent the night in Chubbuck several times, and there is, all capitals, a horrible smell in the air each time. I was told there's a fertilizer factory nearby that spews a nasty chemical-like smell in the air. I pity the workers who work in that factory and the citizens who live there. I bet many in that town develop lung issues from breathing that toxic air every day. Think twice before ever considering a move there. So that's
somebody with valley fever from Albuquerque.
Jesus. Yeah, they're from, I can't reiterate enough that person is from Albuquerque. So
we're on a calm, sunny day. There is about 13 feet high of like haze. It's just dust.
That's from the ground.
Right.
It's not from the air. It's not. It's ground haze.
Right. The ground is coughing and just putting this brown shit in the air.
No, the air quality's fine. The ground quality's terrible today, though. It's just awful. You go out, you can't even see. It's just,
like the only way to breathe clean air in Albuquerque is if you're about 14 feet tall.
That's it, baby. Stand on my shoulders, Jimmy.
Above the
cloud. Get a breath. So people in this town. 14,470 people are here. It is up 86% since 1990. So this area, as a suburb kind of area, blew up.
College open around then?
I think it's just more people moving out kind of away from shit here. We have the median age is low because there's college kids, and there's a lot of kids because there's a lot of Mormons here with big families. So you're going to get a lot of, all the kid demographics are high, all the old demographics are low. That's just how it works. More males than females, which is only in the usually younger demographics we get that.
Some chemical in the cow shit.
Maybe they're drawing them there. Whatever that nasty chemical spew is.
Puts dicks on babies.
Dicks on babies. Oh no, he must have inhaled it. He got a baby dick. He must have inhaled the wrong thing. So married population in this town it's usually 50-50. Here it's almost 63%. Okay. So again, it's an LDS area, as we'll talk about, and that's a lot to do with it. Single with no children, 3%. And with that kind of young crowd, that's very strange. Wild, that's really on purpose. People are getting married. Race of this town, 84% white, as to be expected. 0.1% black.
It's not them.
0.1%. Jesus Christ. That's like a Where's Waldo fucking picture. Like, there's one black guy. Right. Except he's easier to find. Among these people, he'd be very much... This is the palest of the pale he's interacting with. So 1.4% Asian. It's about 10% Hispanic. So that's where you're going to get the difference in the other people.
There's not a lot of Native Americans there?
No, there isn't actually. 0.3%. So
interesting.
Not much. Below average. Yeah. They once they sold it, they were like, this fucking sucker's spot. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Go back to Wyoming.
Let's get out of here. It's like, I hear Portland's nice. I hear. Let's go there. Fuck this place. This place sucks.
Wyoming's teeming with area. Let's go there.
We told them the riches from potatoes. They bought that shit. I don't know. It's like 12 pounds for fucking 18 cents. They don't fucking know. Who cares? They think they're worth a fortune.
Right.
I called it Yukon Gold. They fucking, can you imagine? They were like, yeah, Yukon Gold, we need some of that. Fucking idiots. 20 pounds for a dime. Call it whatever you want.
And that's the worst potato on earth. The yellow ones?
Fucking, nobody wants that.
Gross.
Nobody wants that
The
shit.
little red ones. That's
those are the best. Those are good. They're all good. They're all good, except they could do without the other ones that you just mentioned there. Any other potatoes.
Little one?
Yeah, I'm spoiled, though. Sarah's magic with potatoes.
Man.
I'm not bad myself. So
it's a good vegetable.
It is. 69% of the people here are religious. It's normally 50-50, so it's to be expected. And I'm going to give you a guess of what the dominant religion is here.
It's LDS.
It's LDS, 54%.
My word.
Mormons are the Catholics and Baptists of the East put together.
Wow.
That's a lot. That's a shitload. More than 50% is heavy duty
of the West.
That's just a lot if you're more than 50% in an area. The politics of this town, pretty conservative. Last election, this is of the county, 31% voted Democrat, 51% voted Republican. The other 18% voted third party, as the Mormons were protesting. The unemployment rate here is lower than the national average. Median household income is like $400 away from it. It's about $57,000, which isn't bad. That's
right for this.
It's average.
The
The cost of living, though, is pretty normal with everywhere else. 100 is regular average par. Here it's 93. So it's there. Housing is exactly 100. So it's on the point. It's $229,500 is the median home cost here. And if we've convinced you, damn it, the only place for you is Chubbuck, Idaho. You love the smell, and to say that word, we have for you the Chubbuck, Idaho Real Estate Report. Your average two-bedroom rental, and this seems like the way to go. If all the housing costs are average, your average two-bedroom rental is $720 a month.
Yeah,
which is well below it's about $500 below the average for that.
Like those college kids.
That's
gotta be.
I'm sure they're shitholes too.
Yeah,
I found a two-bedroom, two-bath, 1,271 square foot little house. It's a little
nice.
It's a two-story too. It's like this tiny little two-story house. Weird. It's weird. $132,000 though. That's your bargain of the day. Then I found a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,000 square feet. Needs some updating inside. It's not going to have the backsplash you want and the countertops and shit like that, but you could live in there and be okay. $205,000.
Okay.
You can get by. It's got good bones. You know,
it's got some land too. I'm sure because they're usually
it's in a neighborhood.
Really?
It's in I think it's less than a half acre. I mean, it's
that's interesting.
Maybe a big yard, but that's about it. Then I found a 6-bedroom, 3-bath, 4,021 square foot.
Wow.
It's like brick and stone and has like a workshop big thing with shit in it and a lift and things and $415,000 for that. For your piece of Idaho.
You got to be crushing in Idaho to afford that.
I guess so. I don't know what you got to be doing.
What could you possibly...
You must be high up in the church. I don't know.
Oh, boy.
I have no idea.
A bishop of some sort.
Something. Now, things to do in this town. Of course, there's things to do. Chubbuck Days is the one festival here. And they say a variety of fun family activities, such as helicopter rides, a car show, carnival games, food booths, entertainment, and much more.
And much more.
Much more. Now, this year it's going to be delayed. So let's talk about what they did last year. Okay. On August 9th, they had a free family movie in the park. They showed The Princess Bride, which is fucking cool. Okay, that's a great movie. I'm surprised it's...
Good choice.
Yeah, that's what I'm very surprised at that. I did not expect that. I expected something way cornier. I'm like, wait, Princess Bride is awesome. That's like subversive a little bit. That's good.
It's actually kind of scandalous for a Mormon area.
It's a satire. Like, they usually don't... Religion usually isn't into satire. No. They don't like that. They usually like to stay away from that.
We stay on true stories. Like
because nothing's more serious than religion. So satire is... Satire of their story is not what they want.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, they're like, I have this story. But
you bring Fred Savage into anything and it's a party.
It's going to be a party now. Fred's, it is. And also, what's his name? Peter Falk is in that in the beginning too. What a great fucking movie.
Carrie Always.
Oh yeah, it's a good fucking movie. The whole thing is great.
It's fucking awesome.
It says, come early, bring family and friends, lawn chairs and blankets. Kids can play in the splash pad area while you wait for the movie to start. It's a great way to spend your evening hours, they say here. On August 10th, there's going to be a variety of events, including a free pancake breakfast. Holy shit, a pancake breakfast. Then a Chamber of Commerce ribbon cutting and a parade that will proceed from the Pine Ridge Mall all the way to the LDS Church on Independence Avenue.
That's the finish line?
March to the church, everybody. Now we know what the festival's all about. In the end, you all march to Mormon church. Literally. Watch The Princess Bride, eat pancakes, whatever the fuck you want, because in the end, you'll end up at church.
We're going to convert you.
We're going to get
every last one of you.
Then there's the every last one of you.
That's brilliant.
That's pretty fucking brilliant. Yeah, that's wild. And then there's the Festival of Trees, which is exactly what it sounds like. Shitloads of trees. It goes from late November through December. You know, it's Christmas trees and shit. People, they have Santa and his elves, gingerbread displays, Santa's workshop. I don't know if they bring real little people in or what, but
they finish up at like an Amway meeting.
I feel like they come into it's a multi-level marketing. You have to buy 12 units when you're there. That's the problem.
We go to the Festival of Trees and march to Greenpeace.
That's what it is. So it says the magic continues with several special events designed to delight all age groups. These include breakfast with Santa, a children's royal tea party, and an afternoon ladies' holiday tea. Very important. That's good stuff. The children's royal tea was formerly the princess tea, but they were like, listen, what if a boy wants tea? You can't do this. It's for children 3 to 8 wearing their favorite princess or prince attire. One of the two here. So
I kind of want to go to that.
I kind of do. At the party,
as a princess.
Each child receives crumpets and tea in the form of a light snack. So it's not crumpets, it's probably goldfish, I think. Here's some goldfish and a Teddy Graham.
Eat your extra toasty crumpet. These are Cheez-Its.
Why are these cheddary? I like them. So, breakfast with Santa is geared for children 2 to 8. So there's that. They'll be delighted with a light breakfast and a special visit from Santa Claus. So, crime rate in this town, what we're interested in, damn it. The property crime is actually surprising, but every time the demographic skews low, it always property crime's always high. I've noticed. Property crime here is almost double. Those shifty Mormons. Just fucking can't trust them.
You can't take just donations. You gotta go get your own.
Steal right from your house there.
You will donate this.
You will donate this. Ooh, that's a nice car. You're going to donate it.
So, I really like your TV that you donated.
Pretty sweet TV on the donation pile. You sure about that? Oh, too late. So, violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and assault. The Mount Rushmore of crime is a little over. This is low. It's just over half the national average, so it's low. So they'll steal your shit, but they won't kill you there. Okay. So that's nice anyway. So that said, let's talk about people who killed people. Let's do it. Let's talk about a murder.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked, God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. But why don't you focus also, you look at like green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well. Right. And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. you're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
What do you say?
I can't wait.
Let's do this. Let's talk about a couple of young men first, okay? Let's talk about a guy named Brian Draper to start with. Don's son.
Yeah.
So that's
Don's little guy.
Don's little guy. So poor little Brian Draper. He's got the story of Don Draper, which she kind of does, actually. But Brian Lee Draper's his name. He's adopted at birth. So, I mean, he's adopted, but it's not like he... was like burned with cigarettes till he was 7 and then taken away by the state and then somebody took him in or anything. He was adopted at birth.
That's great.
So he's adopted.
Like the best way it can be done.
Yeah. It's you get the connection with the kid right away, all that scientific fucking heartbeat stuff.
Right.
I don't know.
You got to get that non-abandon. You got to get them right before they feel the abandonment.
Yeah. Right when they're starting to, I got you covered. Here you go, kid.
But yet somehow they still feel the abandonment. You know what I mean? Because you still get that scientific bond with the person that births you, and then you go to somebody else and there's still an abandonment thing.
Yeah, because we're mammals, and that's what people don't realize.
I'm not a doctor, but I realize that's fucked up.
Yeah, we're mammals, and we have certain things that we don't understand because we try to intellectualize everything, and there's certain things that are instinctual or nature, and we don't. That doesn't mesh with our feeling of we're people and like smart, so nature can't affect us because our brain can override nature. That's what people think.
We can't look at the bright side and be like, clearly that woman or man or both together were unable to help me.
Yeah. That's what I mean. But in our minds, we do.
Yeah.
That's the thing. In our minds, we can separate that, and we think that we can. We're
for
like,
a minute.
As a baby, that would have been fine. But then in actuality, like we said, there's something nature-wise there. So anyway, Brian is adopted by his parents here, the Drapers, and Betty and Don. And his real birth parents are unknown. Yeah. We don't know.
Probably for the best.
Somebody had a kid and couldn't take care of him, obviously, here. So they move around a lot, the whole deal here. They were in Utah mostly throughout Brian's childhood. And then when he's 16, he moves with his family to the Pocatello area and ends up near Chubbuck. So he goes to Pocatello High School. Doesn't fit in great. No. Which is, if you're someone who moves around a lot, you're either good at fitting in or not good at fitting in.
It's what year is this?
This was 2000. We're talking 2006.
Okay.
This happened. Yeah. Right. So he's 16 years old in 2006, born in 1989. So, he's not, this isn't back in the day. You can make friends, but it's hard to be new.
Yeah.
I figured out the other day, I sat down, it's like 2 months ago, actually. I sat down and I thought about all the different places I moved when I was a kid, and I made this like long list of fucking places. I went to like 4 I went to so many schools, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, that had to be something.
That affects you.
That's had to be something as far as like, well, why you're a comic too, because it's like every time you show up, it's like a new crowd.
Starting over.
So you're like, hey, everybody, how's everybody doing today? Right. And so that's how you're doing, though. You're coming in and you've built material. What's worked on the other kids in the other schools?
What got your ass kicked?
What got me punched in the face? What got me fucking friends in the other schools? And you come in with a more polished material, just like a comedy routine you built when you're moving around. That's what it is. So it feels natural when you're older. I think that's what it is. There's several ways you can get to comedian, and I think that's one of them. That was my route.
It can also create a life of like just turmoil in terms of relationships personally, where you're like, fuck it, I've started over this many times. What's it again? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm going to have 9 fucking marriages, but whatever. It doesn't matter.
Plus, I have this weird urge to fucking move all the time. Like, I have to be told no.
I can't do it.
I just want to move all the time. Right. After like a year and a half, anywhere, I'm like, okay, we should just look for a new place. Like, why? This is great. I wanted to leave here. We're sitting in our studio. So I was like, we should just find another house. Why? This is perfect. No. We're going to leave, though. I just can't.
Yeah.
And then, I have to be told, no, you're not right in the head.
Right.
And you just want to move around for some reason. It's like, I have to go, oh, yeah, that's right. My bad. We'll stay. Because otherwise, I will fucking move every year. Great, let's pack up our shit and go. It's just, I'm used to it.
That's fascinating.
I lived in constantly changing.
I lived in 3 houses as a kid, and all of them still felt fucking temporary. Every day I woke up and I'm like, this shit all crumbled today. I didn't. Maybe tomorrow.
I went through a list of like 5 years old to 12 years old, and it was like 24 places, dude. It was fucking insane. It was a lot.
Maybe it's just because we were so broke that it just felt like.
That's what mine was.
I mean, we could be out tomorrow. They could come and tell us we have to leave tomorrow.
That's true, too. You can be, you never know when you're going to go.
Maybe they'll make enough money today and we can stick around.
Hey, that'd be great. Phone work today? Nope. Okay.
I guess it's tomorrow we leave.
That was fun as a kid. You have to call me. See, that's how it works. That's how house phones used to work. That was the first step. That was like a mob boss, like doing something to you.
Call you.
You can't call out. You can only call in. That was like somebody putting the muscle to you. Hey, you want to make a phone call? It's going to cost you. So never mind poor shit here. So
it's a tough life, man.
Brian ends up at Pocatello High School. Doesn't fit in well. Mm-hmm. He doesn't really know where to fit in because he moves around a bunch too, and that doesn't help either. And we'll talk about it. He's also a huge asshole. Yeah. That's what I mean. I'm building up anything positive I can say. Well, mitigating, we'll say, as far as like, hey, this happened and this happened. Yeah. But in the end, sometimes people are just assholes.
Yeah. He didn't have a lot of chances, but you still have a chance to make good decisions.
Well, he was adopted by two people that raised him and were treated him well. He wasn't, like I said, he wasn't beaten or maimed or mauled or fucking done anything wrong too. He was raised in a loving environment. At that point, I mean, I'm sorry, but get your shit out of your ass.
At that point, choices are yours, bud.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We all had shit to happen that's not great, but fuck, you got to deal with it. You can't be a dick about it. Mm-hmm. So anyway, he goes there. He goes to Pocatello High, and he meets a friend, and it's pretty much his only friend here. And he's new, too, so it's tough. And high school's a tough place to go into a new high school because people have formed the bonds already, and they don't fucking need you.
They probably went to school since kindergarten together, especially this area. It's so tight knit. They're just friends for life.
And you have to have some sort of special skill or something to be able to crack a group in this type of environment. You do. You have to be something. You have
at
to
a later time.
Yeah, you have to be like
have weed.
I was going to say you have to have weed. You have to be good at fighting. You have to be good at sports, whatever that group's into, or whatever you name it.
Hell of a kickflip, sir.
Something. You need something to attract people to you. That's the weird thing about high school. If you do go to a new high school, people will just ignore you unless you are an attractive woman, an attractive or attractive guy. I shouldn't say a girl, because if you're very attractive, obviously that stands out. Or you have to be like good at something.
Or you can buy your way in by having a bitchin' car.
You can have that, which is also making you attractive again. So that's attractive again. So that's all under that umbrella.
If you're ugly like me and got nothing,
if you're just a regular kid that shows up and they're like, "How's it going?" and I'm not trying out for any teams or clubs or I'm not, any of that shit. I'm just going to go to class and go home. No one cares. Right. You're not important to them, and you haven't known these people since they were 8. What do they care about you?
It's not a Nickelodeon movie. The kid in the front of the class is going, "Hey, new kid, want to hang out?"
Yeah, never. Have you? I never had that happen. Never. Nobody was ever nice. No, you have to be like funny, and then people would like you. That was my thing. Right. I'd be funny, and they'd be like, "Oh shit, yeah, he's okay." The new guy's pretty funny.
The one school I moved to, I went in middle school, and I knew a kid named Zach at one school. Went to the next school, and he was like, "When you get there, go see my friend Kamau. He's in that school, and he's like the most popular dude."
You just described jail. Literally, that's what they do with jails. They'll be like, "Oh, when you're transferring jails, my buddy this, tell him this. Here, I got a kite for this motherfucker." I
wandered into the wrong fucking classroom, and the teacher had come out, walk me to my real class.
That's amazing.
And it was amazing.
That's
we were
nice
friends
as shit.
For quite a while.
Wow, that's really nice.
Well, he's dead now.
Oh, well, that sucks.
So it didn't work out.
In the end, it didn't work out. So in the end, you shouldn't make kids be nice to other kids.
I gotta
They'll
stop
die.
Telling stories about kids I knew because it turns out all of them are dead.
But you never start out. This is what I love about your stories. You never start out with like, okay, I know that at the end of the story he's dead, so I'm going to tell it in this way. You just tell it and you go, "Oh shit, he's dead."
Oh my god.
That's right. You get to the end and you're like, "Oh, there's a cliff here." Fuck, I didn't.
Oh, you guys were going to have to fall.
I thought I was going around this curve, but there's just a cliff. Story's over. Bye.
Everybody jump.
I love how you don't think about the ending.
I miss you, Kamau.
Sorry, Kamau. Sorry you had to be the
the brunt of that
brunt of this whole thing.
Good grief.
So he meets a friend, Brian does, at this new school, and his friend isn't a real popular kid, but he's got like a group of friends. Because like I said, when you grow up around a place, you get a group. Even no matter how big of a fucking dork you are, you'll find a group of other dorks.
Right.
And it's whatever weird interest you have, there is another group of people that have that interest, whether it's the D&D kids or we had one group. All the groups. We had one group in
Who's the
school.
Group? Everybody bullied James.
But no. Well, they tried to be like tough. They were like the Columbine kids.
Yeah,
they looked like that.
Right.
But they weren't, though.
No.
They were, I called them a paramilitary organization always.
Yeah.
I called them Hitler and the A-Team. There was this one kid.
We had him too.
And he had his hair like, he looked like Hitler. He wore boots and but like, not like docks like other kids wore. He wore like these weird fucking like combat police boots with like, his pants in them and a long trench coat. And he had these other kids who, this is amazing, by the way, these twin kids who were, I think they're Pakistani or something. Their parents are Pakistani. These identical fucking twins. One of them, by the way, we will cover in Small Town Murder because he slaughtered a family.
Good grief.
That's who these people are, okay? It was those two and some other fucking dork that used to hang on to him. I didn't care. But I called them Hitler and the A-Team. And I'd have a song and everything in the Hitler and the A-Team, you fucking dorks. Because they would try to punk people.
Yeah.
And so I was like, fuck you fucking, no, not happening, Hitler and the A-Team. So I'd make fun of these kids constantly. And then I'd think, they're going to shoot me one of these days, but for sure. Like, these kids are fucking nuts.
Yeah. You were on the list.
And then, no, they killed somebody else.
Right.
So, and their whole
You were
family
probably
burned
on
the
that
house
list.
down. Oh, I'm sure. If
they were coming for you next.
If they had a list, I was fucking on it because I would torment these kids. If I saw them do anything stupid, I would just be like, okay, let's get it on, motherfuckers.
We had the same
stupid
group,
bastards.
man. There's flannels tied around waists and
that was. I wish they were flannels tied around waists. These kids look like they were always planning like some sort of military strike. Like they weren't burnouts. They weren't like
these were legit burnouts.
Yeah, no, these weren't.
Tons of leather trench coats in Arizona, James.
That's
110
insane.
degrees, leather.
That's nuts.
Leather.
They weren't wearing leather trench coats.
This was ridiculous.
Like a Always Sunny in Philly duster.
Right.
Yeah,
like the Matrix.
No.
Ridiculous.
These kids are wearing like long black trench coats like the Columbine kids, but this was 2 years before Columbine or so. So that we didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
But that's exactly who they look like. I remember when they showed the pictures of those kids, I was like, oh my God, it's Hitler and the A-Team. Except like not as fucking as military-ish as those guys were.
But when you see their school pictures, Eric and Dylan, they were me. Like
they look normal.
That's
what
I looked like.
Yeah, no, Hitler and the A-Team, weird. You'd go, what the fuck is wrong with these kids?
Yeah.
Nice haircut, Hitler.
Those kids were the same age as us.
Yeah.
Well, same age as me.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they're a couple years younger than me.
We were graduating the same year.
Yeah, so there you go.
Bananas.
So they form their own group. He meets a kid. His name is Torey Adamczyk is his name here. Torey, Torey, Torey Adamczyk. So Torey and Brian become buddies very close, very fast in 2006. They're both really into movies, especially like horror movies and like shit like that. They're both super into serial killers. Okay. Also, they're big true crime fanatics.
Yeah.
And so there's a line there, by the way.
It's a thin one.
There's a line of being interested in the weird psychology behind murder and being like, fucking serial killers are awesome.
Right.
There's a line.
Right.
And I like to think our listeners are on the right side of that line where they're like, oh, this is really fucked up and I'm interested in how fucked up it is, but that dude's a dick.
Yeah. When you compare, when you use the word like so and so's work, you're gross.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Shit like that.
That's a gross person.
So they're both students at Pocatello, and they are both interested in films. They want to make their own films and shit like that. Like they're interested in that sort of thing. So they hang out. They become friends, and sort of in the spring of 2006. There. Now Brian has had problems growing up. Also, he's had a history of. He's been in and out of counseling for writing about suicide and, minor, not attempts, but kind of cries for help. Yeah. And also writing about killing other people, which is more of a problem, obviously. So he's had a lot of counseling, and he's been what they've called a troubled kid here for a while. It's kind of a little fucked up in the head. And he wrote once on his MySpace there that he was, quote, sick in the head and no one knows it. he said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your therapist knows.
Well, yeah, and a lot of other people found out, too, because when he was in the 8th grade in Utah, he and 2 other boys were caught planning a school shooting.
They were planning it.
And this is like 2002. So this is well known of school shootings. It's not like this was a thing. They all denied that they were serious, but I imagine that would be what you would do if you were caught planning a school shooting. That would be the go-to.
Go-to out.
Yeah, it ended up coming out that Brian had an unhealthy, I would say any fascination with those 2 fucking Columbine idiots is unhealthy.
Yeah.
So he had an unhealthy fascination with these 2 jackasses, and he wrote a detailed account how he was going to go into the school and kill certain classmates that he felt had been dicks to him.
Wow.
That was his thing. By the way, this episode is not a school shooting, so don't worry.
Yeah.
So we don't do those, by the way, really. You ever notice that?
Yeah, that's
170 episodes? No, thanks.
Tough to laugh at.
Yeah, man, just no thanks.
Yeah.
A lot of these cases are tough to laugh at, but there's something about those I just feel uncomfortable. I don't want to do them. So anyway, he felt these people had obviously taken shots at him or whatever. He was very specific and graphic in his writings of what he wanted to do to people and shit like that. He has fantasies, violent fucking fantasies that he writes down what he wants to do. Now, I have to say, there are people who have violent fantasies or have thoughts like this that write them down and then they make
to flesh them out
19 Saw movies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that happens also.
Yes, it is creativity.
Because there's some sick fucks out there. You go, how do people come up with that? It's probably, I know some writers, they're fucking weird.
Yeah.
Some people are weird. They're into weird shit and they write about it. They just know enough to not do it because they don't want to fucking go to prison.
They write movies or songs about it, i.e. Rob Zombie. The guy's amazing and he's so creative and genius, but he's not out there fucking killing people.
Yeah, exactly. And people are into a cult. If you go to like Penn Jillette's house, like I've seen a thing of his, it's all like torture shit and like that's what he thinks is interesting. But he's not killing anybody. No. He's just...
It's a bit weird.
Yeah. It's just weird. So but this is a little different. When you're talking about teenagers doing it, it's a little more odd. Yeah. Although I guess it's better to write it down than actually do it, but you can't, obviously it's, if someone writes it down, they may do it.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. And the thing in the terms of like in the documented cases of the horrific events as being like the end point, the starting point is feeling slighted, and then everything between there gets to writing it down. Then the next is like a dry run or a rehearsal,
or thoughts,
and then you go fucking do it. So he's like 2 steps away from being an awful kid.
But those are very big. That's a very big chasm to go across. That you have to be a certain type of person. And there's one thing that makes me think that maybe he was talking shit also was that apparently all the kids said he had a reputation at school for talking about killing people. Like, I'm going to kill this guy, and I've killed people before. He's the new kid, probably, and that's his thing. Right. Okay, no one's going to like me for this. I'm not funny, I'm not smart, I'm not talented, I'm not good at sports, maybe not
dangerous is the way.
Yeah, I don't have any drugs, and I'm not fucking handsome. So maybe I'll be like that's exactly right. I'll be the dangerous kid. Yeah. And there's a certain attraction to that for a kid that nobody will fuck with you. And that's one of the things. Maybe I set myself up this way, get some sort of identity, and in this meantime, people think twice before they pick on me.
Right. And at that age, you're looking at chicks, too, and you're very interested in women, and maybe that's the route you want to go to get laid.
That's the other thing. You want to be the bad boy.
Yeah.
Because that's
chicks dig the fucking
sometimes they do. Yeah, that's some women do. And he had nobody took him seriously, also, was the thing. Nobody was like, oh, he's on the edge, and he was 13, and he was just talking shit, so nobody cared. And he, that was that. Tori, on the other hand, never had any thing like this at all. Adam Check was very just normal kid, normal home, loving home, no trouble, didn't write about killing people or anything like that. He never had any depression or behavioral issues, never went to counseling. He was just like a kid that, was lucky.
Go along to get along.
Lucky kid, yeah. He didn't have any of these
problems. However it goes.
Go along, get along. I don't know. Get along.
Which one is it?
I think it's go along so you'll get along.
I think it's get along to go along. You got to get along so that everything moves forward. You know
I think it's the opposite.
Just be like passive and be nice. Sense. I don't know. It's stupid.
I think you go along with shit to get along with people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. What goes around comes around is stupid too because that.
Well, obviously, if it went around, it's coming around. It seems like there's a circle. There's a round is right in the word.
It's true, but whatever comes around also is going to go around because whatever happens to me, that's how I'm going to affect everything else too. You know what I mean?
That's true. Well, and it's going to end up coming back anyway.
That's a great point.
And everything you do comes back to you.
So stop being a dick.
So stop being
I guess really the whole phrase should be stop being a dick.
Stop being a dick. Stop with all of your cliches.
Right.
They should all be stop being a dick. It's perfect. That's enough. So Tori's a lucky kid. He's have a happy childhood. He loves movies and his entire life. And since he was little, he's been interested in, he wants to make movies. He's into filmmaking. He wants to write movies. He wants to make movies. He used to write little scripts and make little short movies with his friends since he was 10 years old.
Awesome.
So when you hear about filmmakers, this is how a lot of them get started. Right. You'll see famous directors have films that they made with their brother when they were 8, where, they forced the kids in the neighborhood to run around the woods and reenact World War II and shit. Yeah. That's what causes people to be filmmakers.
But it's also
interested in that.
Columbine kids did things.
They did. But that was more, they just put a set camera up and talk some stupid shit. They were playing out scenes and stuff like that.
They were wishing that they could say that shit to whoever bullied them is what it was.
That's what it was. That was their we're going
to fuck you up, jocks.
Jesus, imagine if they had social media.
Oh boy,
they would have been assholes.
The bullying would have been way worse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because they would have known about it.
Do it behind the fucking screen.
Hey, this is great.
Did you see the video these two dickheads made?
Jesus, these two fucking
Twitter.
idiots. So, once Tori and Brian became friends, they started planning to do a movie script together. They wanted to, because Brian was into movies too, and I think he'd pretty much do whatever I think Tori was into at that point, because it was a friend. So he was like, cool, you want to write a script? Great, I'll write a script.
Yeah.
We get along. Awesome. Somebody to hang out with. So that's kind of what happened there. And August 31st, 2006, they've been friends through the spring. Summer vacation came. They've been hanging out all summer. And they're talking about making a movie, and they're talking about doing all this type of shit. They want to make like a low budget horror movie. Okay. And you have to think too, 2006 was still the time where people were making like indie horror movies that were like, there's still the Blair Witch model, which was like 8 years before that, but there's still that model of you can make your own movie running around in the woods with your friends and
$200,000,
not even for fucking $10,000 in 2006. That's when digital was bigger, so you didn't even need film or anything, and you can make it can be an international success. So that's what they're thinking, and a lot of people thought that way back then. If you look at it, as I was making films at that time, not horror movies, but there was a glut of 1 million fucking people making horror movies, cheap, low budget shit horror movies, and they would sell them on a 10-pack of DVDs for fucking $11 of shit horror movies, and but they were all getting distribution, which was frustrating. We were trying to distribute something else, and they're like, well, it's not a horror movie,
but it's got art in it.
They're like, we're not interested in comedy. Literally, I don't know how many times I was told we're not interested in comedy.
Yeah, but I tried.
Yeah, it's it's a good movie though. Well, that doesn't matter. We're interested in horror right now. Okay, well, never
You're not
mind.
Owen Wilson. Stop it.
Yeah. Literally, comedy was like that. Comedy doesn't do anything. Comedy doesn't.
Does it have Vince Vaughn in it? We're not interested.
Because otherwise, if Will Ferrell's in it, we'll talk. Because if you have Will Ferrell, that's a different story. So they hang out through the summer. August 31st, 2006. Now, there's a friend of theirs who's 18 years old named Joe Lucero, gets a call from Tori Adamczyk, and he's asking this Joe Lucero if he would go and buy Tori some knives from a pawn shop. They're under 18. So he said, would you go in and get me knives from a pawn shop? We'll give you the cash and you go in and get it. So together, Adamczyk and this Lucero went and they picked up Draper here, and they went to a local pawn shop and got some knives. That's what they were doing. On the way, they stopped at the ATM. Draper withdrew some money. They had, and he ended up paying $45 for the knives. And Draper put in $40, and Adamczyk put in $5. And I guess Adamczyk pointed out one knife that he wanted, and Draper got 3 other knives that he thought were cool. So they ended up with a bunch of knives. So I mean, if you're going to make a horror movie,
you need that.
You need some props. So that's the thought here. That's what they're telling people. But it turns a little weird. I don't know how this happened, but sometime over the next 3 weeks, they start hatching really fucking weird plans. And they get a video camera, and they start filming themselves. Now, this is before good digital camera on your phone. So this was, you'd have to have an actual, it's a little HD cam. That's whatever. So they have a camera here, and they start filming. So we can get inside their heads here because we have the transcripts of exactly these videos.
Yeah.
So you can kind of figure out what they're doing.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, this is September 21st, 2006. This is inside the car of two douchebags, basically. You ever wonder what high school idiots do? This is what they do. This is at 8:05 p.m. on September 21st. It's a Thursday night, and Adam Check is driving, and Draper's filming from the passenger seat. They're in the car, obviously. Draper opens it up by saying, quote, "We're going for a high death count." Adam Check says, "Plus, we're not going to get caught, Brian. If we're going for guns, we're just going to end it. We're just going to grab the guns and get the hell out of there and kill everybody and leave." And then Draper says, "We're going to make history. We're going to make history." And Adam Check says, "For all you FBI agents out there watching," and they start laughing. So, So Draper said, then Adam Check says, "You weren't quick enough," to the FBI agents. And Draper says, "You weren't quick enough and you weren't smart enough. And we're going over to," and they name some girl from high school. It's redacted because it's somebody who this didn't involve. "We're going over to this girl's house and we're going to," and by the way, there is a lot of, Draper's a stutterer, apparently.
Awesome.
And, like, what type of stuttering? You know what I mean? Like not to make fun of people who stutter, but not like,
stand-up.
Yeah, he's got a real, like, he says, "You weren't smart enough." They actually, in the court transcript, have, "You weren't smart enough."
God damn.
Jimmy, smart enough.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's in court.
That stings a little bit.
So he continues, we were going to snoop around there and try to see if she's home alone or not. And if she's home alone, splat, she's dead. That's what they say. So Adam Check says, "Don't put your humor into this, Brian." And Brian just says, "I'm not putting any humor into it. Yep, people will die and memories will fade." So I'm going to fucking use every one of his stutters. Fuck him. So Adam Check said, "Memories will fade. I wonder what movie you got that from, Brian." And Brian says, "Myself." And they start laughing. And he says, "That was from myself." And Adam Check says, "No wonder it was so lame." So they're just breaking each other's balls. And then Draper says, "Kay, we're on our way. I'm going to, I'll let you stay tuned. We're almost there." Okay, so then a few minutes later, they're in the car again, and Draper's filming with the camera light on. And Draper says, "We're at this girl's house," whatever her name is. "It's clear out there in the pasture. We've already snooped around her house a couple times, and shush, she's not at home. So we're going to go to that church over there, and we're going to call a girl and a guy named Cassie and Matt. They're our friends." By the way, please, guys, everybody, ladies, gentlemen, whoever's listening out there, anyone, I'm not making fun of anyone who stutters.
Yeah.
This
particular
this fucking asshole deserves it. Trust me. I'm making fun of him, not stuttering, please.
And why would you want to be on camera when you talk like that? Why would you want to be the star of this when you've got an issue?
He does. So they snooped around the house a couple times. She's not at home. So we're going to go to that church over there, and we're going to call a girl and a guy named Cassie and Matt. They're our friends, but we have to make sacrifices. So I feel tonight it's the night, and I feel really weird and stuff. I feel like I want to kill somebody. I know that's not normal, but what the hell? And Adam Check says, "I feel we need a break from normal life." Draper says, "How bright is this light?" And he has the light on Adam. And Adam Check says, quote, "Because let's put it this way, parents, along with their parents, along with their parents, and so on." And then they just say, And then Adam Check says, "Taught them about God and Jesus, the whole bullshit." And then he says, "I'm sure you guys believe in God as well," looking at the camera. "I realized when I was in seventh grade along, you don't believe in Santa Claus or vampires or werewolves. They're used as a metaphor, not let they teach their kids back in the 1800s. Sorry, it's actual dialogue, so sometimes people stop and start. "I learned this in English class about telling their kids that they can't go outside or a vampire will get you, just to make their kids stay and do what they want. God is basically," and Draper says, "That's what God's for, right?" And Adam Check says, "The same way, yep." As a threat. Adam Check says, "Trying to get people to do good or else, so-called, air quoting, you go to hell." And then Draper says, "And we're obviously going to hell tell if it's real, but who gives a shit? And Adam Check says, and why would you say it's real? And Draper says, yeah, but it's not real. It's not real because it's so blatantly obvious that it's not real. But, and then Adam Check says, because people believe it, their parents teach them it, and it's so hard for them to let it go. They've been taught their whole life. And then Adam Check says, but fucking the point I'm making is we are also taught that things like killing people and other things is wrong. The only thing that is wrong about this is because it's breaking a law, and the law is only wrong. And then he trails off, and Draper says, natural selection, dude. Natural selection. That's all I got to say. And Adam Check said, there should be no law against killing people. I know it's a wrong thing, but, and then he says, hell, you restrict somebody from it, they're just going to want it more. No. I mean, some things, but not that.
It's not a fucking Baby Ruth, bro.
Well, it's not weed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not a 16-year-old with weed. It's murder. Most people don't want to kill people. Yeah. That's the thing. Most people are uncomfortable with seeing the insides of a human.
You restrict people from doing something that doesn't hurt anybody else, and that makes them want it more.
Exactly.
It's when it fucking bothers somebody else's life. I don't fucking care to do it.
Bothers? How about ends?
Yeah.
So
impacts.
Draper agrees and said exactly, and goodbye, camera. Now, about 8 minutes later, they're in the car again, and Adam Check's driving, Draper's filming.
This is the problem with not having your own fucking personality and just being a yes man for your friend. You know what I mean?
Yes man for your friend. They're yes men for culture, for pop culture. Right. That's for whatever culture they're into.
Whatever they're into. They're just like, yes. Yeah, sometimes you got to go, no, dude, that's weird.
16 is a fucked up age because you do get into things that later on, what the hell was I doing when I was 16? That was stupid, but hopefully it's not past a line that you can't take back. That's the thing.
Right.
It should. If you kill people, you can't take that back. That affects forever. Right. Whereas most things you do when you're 16, it's like, oh, I got in a fight at the. Yeah. Who cares? That's you usually get disorderly conduct or something, and who gives a shit? Or you got to
blow me, and I shouldn't have.
Yeah, I cheated on my girlfriend when I was 17.
I shouldn't have left that in her, and now I've got a kid.
That's different. That's another big mistake.
That's a horrible one.
That's on par with murder. That's close. It's again your
taking
whole
a life or making one.
Taking or making.
It's bad.
That's bad. Anything outside of taking or making a life can be fixed when you're 16. So it really shouldn't fucking matter. But you look for things to latch on to because you want a personality. Mm-hmm. You're 16, you haven't done anything. No. You have no life experience. You wake up, you go to school. If you're 16 and listening, listen up because this is true. And you'll go, oh, fuck, yeah. You wake up, you go to school, you come home. Maybe you work 2 days a week at some part-time thing. You do some homework, maybe you hang out with your friends, and then you do it all over again. Right. That's not life experience.
You're not interesting.
Yeah, you're not interesting yet. Sorry. You will be someday. Give it time. And maybe some of you are. Who knows? But a lot of you, most of you aren't because you don't have the stress of all this other shit that life makes that kind of makes your personality. Yeah. Diamonds are formed by pressure. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's the same thing with people.
You got to have pressure.
Diamond people are either created or crushed by pressure. And that's the truth. Teenagers just haven't had that pressure yet. Yeah. So when you're 16, you're looking for something to latch on to be something. Yeah. And otherwise
you
you're just
have
boring.
The pressure right now, and give it time, you're about to be a diamond.
That's the other thing. And if you take or make a life, then that's where the pressure starts.
That's the pressure.
So
hang in there.
They were at somebody's house. Obviously, they drove up to an unnamed girl's house and looked around and said they were going to kill her. And now they're back in the car 7 minutes later. Mm-hmm. And they say, quote, Draper says, my friend's too pussy to investigate. Turn here. Mm-hmm. And Adam Check says, too smart, you mean? And Draper says, why aren't you turning there, dude? And Adam Check says, because it's faster this way. Now they're arguing about fucking directions through the neighborhood. Draper says, now we're going to go over to Cassie and Matt's house. If they're home alone, we're going to. And Adam Check says, it's Cassie's house. Matt is there. So he seems to be the smart one out of the group. I'm going to say Tori. Just from the way they're talking. Yeah. Draper's the moron. Yeah. Draper's the fucking, hey, whatever. And Adam Check's the guy who kind of keeps them together. Yeah, he's the only reason they can get to destinations.
Gathers them back up.
Yeah. So Draper says, Matt is there. Sorry. We're gonna...
Go on.
Knock on the door. We'll see who's there. We'll see. Jesus Christ. Draper, he fucking...
He's stressed out.
Good Lord, he spun out of control there. If their parents are home or not. If they're home alone, we will leave our way, and then we will come back in about 10 minutes. We'll sneak through the door because the chances are they'll probably be in Cassie's room. So we'll sneak in the front door. We'll make a noise outside. And Adamczyk says, then Matt will come out to investigate. And Draper says, we'll kill him and we'll scare the shit out of Cassie, okay? And Adamczyk says, sounds like fun. And then Draper says, well, stay tuned. Okay? That's wow. That's what they're doing. Now, cut to, what is it, about 20 minutes later, 8:36 p.m. They're back in the car. Adamczyk's driving, Draper's filming, and Draper says, we found our victim, and sad as it may be, she's our friend, but you know what? We all have to make sacrifices. Our first victim is going to be Cassie Stoddard and her friends. So they've decided on a person here. So Adamczyk, pointing at a passing car, says, God, turn your brights off, asshole.
You're right. Oh, boy. You get...
No. You just said you're going to kill your friend, and then you called someone an asshole. You inconsiderate prick, because he had fucking brights on? Are you kidding me?
You have to critique somebody's driving.
Is that the most murder irony we've ever had on this fucking show? In the next breath, he's like, hey, I mean, Jesus, I'll stab a friend in the throat, but fuck, man, turn your brights off. I can't see. What if a deer pops out?
It's rural out here. It's dark. When you got the brights on, it really hurts.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you all sorts of good stuff about Chime. That's what I'm talking about. There's so many extra fees you have to pay in life. Everything. You go to the airline, there's an extra ticket on that. There's extra fee on every fees, hotels, fees, all this type of stuff. We're trying to make progress, and the next thing you know, here comes another fee coming at you, and it's more money than you expected, and your whole math is thrown off, and it's awful. Learn more at chime.com/smalltownmurder. Chime is great with that stuff. I mean, you can't beat if your things are a little tight, especially around the holidays or after the holidays. You need that money a couple days early, or you go grocery shopping. You got a car payment due. There's so many things that don't cross over exactly how you want them to cross over. Make progress toward a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/smalltownmurder. That's chime.com/smalltownmurder. Feels like progress. Banking services and debit cards provided by Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A., members FDIC. Spot me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in Spot Me and are subject to monthly limits. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs.
And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about a healthy, delicious item, Hero Bread. And we're both trying to get healthier this new year. Jimmy had a eye-opening doctor's appointment and things like that. So we're trying to get healthier, and I'm telling you right now, this Hero Bread is a good step in this direction. It's delicious, and it is really good for you, and it's really excellent. They have the sliced bread is good, the bagels, the tortillas. I know you've been
they're terrific.
Ranting about the tortillas. They're so good. With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in the soft, fluffy experience you love, but guilt-free. I really love the little Hawaiian rolls, too.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so good. The Hawaiian rolls, they're legit. They're fluffy. Yeah. They're exactly how you want them to be. You'd never know it's low-carb and high-fiber bread from the texture. You get the soft, fluffy experience you know and love with your savory breakfast sandwich, late-night grilled cheese, Taco Tuesday. Do it. Yeah. No compromises, just flavor, ultra-low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, high in fiber. It's fantastic. Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use the code SmallTownMurder at checkout. That's SmallTownMurder at HERO.co.
And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover. Yeah. Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing. No. They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently. Wherever your problem areas are, tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's sonobello.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Wow. So Draper says, quote, we'll find out if she has friends over. If she's going to be alone in a big dark house out in the middle of nowhere, how perfect can you get? I mean, like, holy shit, dude. I mean, you're a predator.
Holy shit, all right.
That's what predators do. Someone's alone, and rather than normal people are like, I hope they're safe.
Right.
I hope they're protected in there.
How perfect.
They're like, great, sweet. I bet she's scared, too. This is going to be easy. Fuck. Adam Check says, now probably the grossest line of all of this. He says, quote, I'm horny just thinking about it.
Oh boy.
So in the last 3 minutes of video, he has
really shown his true character.
He's really shown what kind of guy he is. So remember that later on when he's saying what a nice kid he is, because he didn't see the irony in being mad at someone for having their brights on and the inconsiderateness and that.
Did you just say murder? Jesus, you're lucky my dick's put away.
He said, I am a horny.
It's so hard.
Not even like I'm excited. Right. He said, I am literally put it in a sexual passage. I'm happy and excited and directing it all through my penis.
I'd really love to fuck this emotion right now.
My God. You know what? Backseat, Draper. Let's do this. He probably would have, too. So, Draper says, hell yeah, we're so gonna fucking kill her and her friends, and we're gonna keep moving on. I heard some news about, and this was the girl they talked about earlier, whose house they went around and didn't do anything. She's gonna be home alone from 6 to 7, so we might kill her and drive over to Cassie's thing and scare the shit out of them, and then kill them one by fucking one. Hell yeah. So they're planning a spree here. And Adam Check says, why one by one? Why can't it be a slaughterhouse? And Draper says 2 by 2 and 3 by 3 because we've got to keep it classy. And Adam Check says, keep it classy. So now they're throwing in fucking...
Writing songs?
They're throwing out... Anchorman's new.
Yeah.
Think about this. Not new, but within the last couple of years, it's fresh in their minds. Like, that's what they're these two assholes.
That's horrible, man.
Okay. I'm not into bullying. I've always been the type where I'm bigger. I've always been pretty big.
Yeah.
So I've always been like, I can tell bullies to fuck off from other people that they're picking on, and they tend to listen. So that's always helped. I would love to bully these two fucking kids. I'd love to smack the shit out of both of them.
There's anybody that deserves it.
They deserve a good bullying, don't they? I want to make fun of them.
A wedgie, a swirly, a cigarette flicked at them here and there.
Yeah, I want to break down their mental faculties, really, by calling them names. I want to talk about Brian's adopted life. I want to talk about why his parents didn't want him, because they could tell he was a piece of shit. I want all of these things. I really want to put out there to them. Break
Even
them.
before you could talk, they knew your fucking tongue wasn't going to work.
That's right. They could tell.
This one's got a lazy tongue.
Look at you. Get him out of here. So keep it classy, keep it classy. So Draper says, so yeah, it's going to be extra fun. Mm-hmm. And Adam Check says, you're evil, and laughs. And Draper says, yes, I am. So are you, dude. Evil, evil. And I think that he meant to say that twice. That wasn't
evil.
Probably a pause. Probably evil. A pause. Evil, evil. Adam Check said, no, evil is an expression of God. That was another test you failed.
Oh, Jesus.
So who does he think? He's Charles Manson now? Okay, yeah. This is what I mean. This is what's on video.
You don't say that word around me. It's sacrilege.
Come on. And Draper says, evil is not an expression of God. And Adam Check says, yes, it is. I so want them to pull over and beat the shit out of each other.
Wouldn't it be great if one just gets knocked out and then the other one loses interest?
That would be great. Never mind.
End up beating that kid's ass.
Hey, that girl's cute. Maybe I'll do that. You know what? Have you ever done baseball? I'm going to start playing baseball. Always looked like fun. I never got into it. I'm going to start getting into it now.
Gets punched in the face and he's like, I can talk fine.
Wow, hey.
I'm not even frustrated.
Look at that.
I don't have any rage anymore.
She sells seashells by the seashore. Wonderful. Look at me. She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. This is perfect. I'm fucking good now. La, 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 la.
You're on your own, fucker.
You're on your own, dickhead. Ha ha. Nothing can stop me now. She sells seashells by the seashore. Fucking running away.
Skipping down an Idaho dirt road. Just thrilled.
She sells potatoes down by the Pocatello pole. That's the Idaho version. So that's bullshit and you know it, he says. Draper says to him, that's bullshit and you know it. And Adam Check says the evil of origin is a follower. Whoa. Evil of origin is a follower of fucking Satan, Adam Check says. So Draper says, there is no Satan. Adam Check says, is Satan real? Then shut up.
What are we
doing? This is the dumbest philosophical conversation ever had by two 16-year-olds.
Why is this kid still filming? Why does he go, this is a waste
This
of
is
footage.
a way we suck, dude. This is the problem with digital. They're like, oh, you can just erase it. With tape, people be like, we're wasting tape, asshole. It's like $4 for this fucking thing. Like, if this was the 80s and you had, like, a full-size VHS, it was like $9 for this fucking tape. We have, 11 minutes of battery time? Let's fucking do this. And it's in a suitcase?
7 minutes
Come
of
on.
us arguing?
Jesus, what the fuck are we doing about Satan? So then shut up. So Draper says, then how are we supposed to express ourselves? And Adam Check says, good and bad, not evil, whatever. So Draper says, we're bad. And Adam Check says, we are bad. And Draper says, that sounds so shitty. Adam Check then says, we're evil. That sounds even shittier. They're looking for title. Who cares?
Want a label of this?
Yeah. Well, I want to be evil. Well, you said bad, though, and bad's worse than evil.
You're sacks of shit.
Sacks
End
of shit.
Story.
Dildos, I think, would be a good way to put it. So Draper then says, hey, we're not, okay? Then we are sick psychopaths who get their pleasure off killing other people. They haven't killed anybody yet, by the way.
Right.
This is what I mean.
You don't know what pleasure you're going to derive from this.
Yeah. So Adam then says, that sounds good, baby. So what is he, an agent now? He's turned into somebody's fucking agent? What's going on now?
Jazz musician.
That sounds good, baby. Pass over that reefer, will you? Pass over that reefer this way. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, baby. Yeah, now I'll go find me a white girl. Like, that's what he's sounding like. He's like some kind of fucking stereotype of a 30s reefer madness thing. I was like, oh, look at that now. Fucking stupid.
Johnny on the bass bones. Give me a line.
Yeah, give me a line. There we go. Hey. Ever watch Reefer Madness? I don't know whether it's more racist or stupid. That's the fucking... I don't know. That's where I got that from.
Racism is pretty stupid.
No. But, like, it's like... I meant stupid of other things or just separate category. Yeah. Racist stupid. Because it's like, whoa. It's fucking crazy. So, anyway. Yeah, I was making fun of somebody else. There we go. Okay. So, that sounds good, baby. Then Draper says, we're going to go down in history. We're going to be just like Scream, except real life terms. So they have all of this pop culture shit is just, their whole conversation is pop culture bullshit. It's all reflections. They have no personalities. They have no souls. They have reflections of shit they've seen, and they're just making it their own.
It's so much so that he even asked him, what movie's that from? Like,
that's what I mean.
They're just movie quote spitters. That's all they do.
They're like walking MySpace walls.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where that was just like, here's a bunch of shit people like. Right. You know, look at that. I like that music and this shit in the background.
They are the fat Jew.
Yeah, exactly. Which, if you don't know, is not a derogatory statement. You have to be specific.
Yeah.
People
it's an IG handle of a guy that just rips off other people.
It was a big deal. He stole comedians. He stole comedians' jokes and put them out on his own and had a big thing. Being. Yeah, and so we're not calling him a fat. His handle is Fat Jew. That's why.
I think it's Fat Jewish. I think that's what it is.
But he calls himself Fat Jew all the time. So that's why. So,
it's dumb.
It's not.
It's stupidity.
Yeah,
that's the point.
Exactly. So anyway, Jesus Christ, we've made two references that are terribly fucking racist. That weren't racist. That were referencing other things that we thought were stupidly racist.
We had to explain them.
That we had to explain. So let's no more Andrew Jackson for a minute, and let's just try to fucking get through the story here. We're both out of our minds today. So anyway, we're going to go down in history. We're going to be just like the Scream, except real life terms. And Adam Check, that sounds good, baby. That sounds good, baby. Yeah. And then Draper says, we're going to be murderers. Well, no shit. That's what you're talking about. Then he says, let's see, Ted Bundy, the Hillside Strangler.
Nope.
No, you're not going to be like Ted Bundy. I bet you anything you won't escape from jail, stupid.
I'll bet you won't get past maybe a couple.
Yeah.
If they're all together.
Possibly.
I don't see you going multi-state.
Well, that's the other thing, too. Both of those people were caught, so I don't think that's not the best thing to idolize, as we came up with somebody else who was, it was a few weeks ago, somebody was idolizing a murderer who was caught, and I'm like, hey, dummy.
You want to be the Zodiac.
Which, this comes up next.
Oh, boy.
Adam Check says no, and Draper says, the Zodiac Killer? Like, that's the smart answer. Yeah. And Adam Check says, those people were amateurs compared to what we are going to be. We're going to be more of higher sources of education, he said. So he's like, they're going to be able to study us and be like, this is how you be a serial killer, basically. So then Draper says Gein, and Adam Check says Gein. So they're apparently Ed Gein is their favorite.
Okay.
Bundy was an amateur compared to Ed Gein, apparently. So
I think Bundy killed way fucking more.
And the way he did it was way
more vicious.
And also he escaped from jails, and Bundy was a scam as much as it comes.
Yeah.
So, and Draper then says, well, let's say we're that sick and that twisted. And Adam Check says, oh, you know what Ed Gein's words were? Dude, this is what I mean. They're just talking about bullshit. Draper says, what? Adam Check said, he saw a girl walking down the street, right? 2 questions came to his head. Could I take her out and have a nice time with her? And then Draper says, and then kill her, skin her alive? And Adam Check says, charm the pants off her. Or I wonder what her head would look like on a stick. Can I get her to fuck me, or do I feel like killing her, basically? So Draper says, holy shit, and laughs. He thinks that's hilarious. No, he thinks it's hilarious, though. And Adam Check says, it's creepy, huh? And Draper says, kick ass. Oh. And then they laugh together.
Can't believe I used to say that as a phrase.
Kick ass.
Yeah.
And then they laugh together. Yeah. Kick ass. And then they laugh in agreement, and Draper says, murder is power, power is freedom, goodbye. He got that from his father, Don Draper. That was an ad slogan for. So Adam Check says, and then the camera goes off. Now, no more videotaping that night. Next videotape starts Friday, September 22nd, the next morning at school.
Yeah.
They take the camera to school. Draper's walking down the school hallway, and he talks to someone who appears to be walking with him. He then walks by lockers where Cassie is at her locker, Cassie Stoddard, who we brought up earlier. And he says, quote, hey, look, it's Cassie. Hello, Cassie. And Cassie says hello. And Draper laughs and says, I'm going to get you on tape, okay? Say hi, please. And Cassie says hi. So that's Cassie Jo Stoddard. She's 16 years old. She's also a junior, and she's friends with Adam Check and been friends with him for a while. Her boyfriend Matt and Adam Check hang out as well. They're kind of part of the same little group.
Got it.
Sort of, I feel like they'd sit at the same lunch table. Put it that way, in the same table in the cafeteria.
And if they did sit, they wouldn't be like, "The fuck are you doing here?"
Exactly. Right. Yeah, they're all kind of hang out together, and Draper knows them through being friends with Adam Check. So whatever. Apparently, Draper liked Cassie when he first met her as well, but she has a boyfriend already, and so they just were friends. That's how that worked. And they're all juniors in high school here. So then they cut to a little later. That was at 8:28 in the morning. Then at 12:10 p.m., they're sitting at a table with the camera facing them, and Draper says, "All right, cool." And Adam is looking down and writing in a notebook. And Adam says, I was planning to kill him. And Draper says, September 22nd, 2006, we're skipping our 4th hour class. We're writing our plan right now for tonight. It's going to be cool. And Adam Check said, we? And which is he's writing.
I'm doing the work. Yeah.
And then he says, we, Tori and Brian, and then he writes some shit. We're making our death list right now for actually tonight. And Draper says she's listening, and they're like whispering to each other, and they're looking at somebody watching them. Draper says she's still watching us, and then they're mumbling. And Draper says loudly, number 2 is what? Trying to act like they're doing a schoolwork. And so there's a long gap here where they're whispering back and forth about trying to make themselves seem like, hey, blend in. You know what I mean? So then they write again, and Draper says, yeah, if you're watching this, we're probably deceased, is what he said. Like, I guess they're going to keep this forever until they get
somebody stumbles upon it,
taken down by the SWAT team, and keep it for posterity. And when it's pulled out of the time capsule in 2148, you're going to be impressed with us, let me tell you. So Draper says, hopefully this will go smoothly and we can get our first kill done and then keep going.
Right.
And then Adamczyk says, for you future serial killers watching this tape.
Gross.
And then they laugh together. Adamczyk says, I don't know what to say. Then he says, good luck with that. And Draper says, good luck. And Adamczyk says, hopefully you don't have like 8-9 failures like we have. So apparently they've been going to people's houses and nobody's ever home alone. Because, they're going to teenagers' houses where they live with their parents and siblings and shit, and there's a lot of other people there. Teenagers don't tend to just have the house to themselves a lot. They live in families, usually. The American teenager, most often found amongst a family of some kind. So
it's natural habitat.
It's in their natural habitat. Possibly next to their parents' room, sharing a wall. So Draper says, yeah, we've probably tried 10 times, but they've never been home alone. So, and Adamczyk says, or when they have, their parents would show up. Saving their lives, apparently. Draper says, as long as you're patient, and we were patient, and now we're getting paid off because our victim's home alone. So we got our plan all worked out now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Cassie's family, but she had to be the one. We have to stick with the plan, and she's perfect, so she's going to die. And then they all laugh. Or not all, they both laugh. Yeah. So September 22nd, 2006, this night, Cassie is house sitting. And Cassie, by the way, everybody likes Cassie. She's just nobody has a bad word to say about Cassie. She's a nice girl.
Trusted in a stranger's house.
Yeah, it's her aunt and uncle.
Okay.
Her aunt and uncle, it's still not like where she lives. Right. She went out to their house to house sit. She's a nice kid. Everybody likes her. Like I said, she does well in school. She's not a jerk. Yeah. Nobody says she's, she doesn't spit on the floor and blow smoke in your face or anything like that. Like, she's a nice kid, basically. So on this night, Cassie's house sitting. It's for her aunt and uncle. This is Allison and Frank Contreras. It's in their house here, and it's kind of further out in the middle of nowhere than they live normally. That night, she has her boyfriend with her there, Matt Beckham. Mm-hmm. He's there as well. And like I said, Matt's friends with Adamczyk and Draper, and they're all kind of one big group. Now, Beckham said later on that he and Cassie had invited Adamczyk out to hang out that night. Yeah. So invited him to hang out, and Adamczyk and Draper arrived there about 7 o'clock that night. They got to the house to hang out, and it's just the four of them hanging out in this house, and they got a tour of the home. They watched some of Kill Bill Volume 2 a little bit, and then they took off about 10 o'clock and that sort of thing. I guess Draper said that he had something he needed to do, or maybe they would go to the movies. They didn't know what they were going to do, but they're going to take off now. Friday night in Chubbuck, the world is your oyster.
Yeah. Man, Southeast Idaho, those kids are on their own, really.
Oh,
once they're 16 and they can drive, there's kids smash drunk going 90 down a back road. It's crazy. It's lawless still.
Remind me to go to Idaho sometime soon. That sounds wonderful. I can't wait to get plowed into by a drunken teenager. Yay.
My buddy's brother was like 22, smashed drunk behind the wheel of a lifted-ass Chevy truck, 90 miles an hour down a dirt road.
Good Lord.
What are you doing?
It sounds like rural Pennsylvania.
It's basically the same thing.
It's kind of the same thing without the trees.
This is Pennsylvania of the West.
Without the trees. Idaho, the Pennsylvania of the West. So they get a tour of the home. Like I said, they watch that. They end up taking off. They take off, and what they do is they said after they left, they began attempting to break into cars in the neighborhood. Adamczyk and Draper, they're just assholes. Yeah. They do that, and over the course of this, they made a couple calls. They had talked back and forth to Beckham a little bit, Matt Beckham, Cassie's boyfriend, and that sort of thing. Now they find out after they leave. We'll talk about this for a second. They were down there. They're breaking into cars. Right. They talked to Beckham a couple times on the phone. And then about 20 minutes after they left, Adamczyk and Draper, the power goes out at the house. Power's out. I don't know if that's normal in Idaho.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. But apparently there wasn't a big deal. Oh, power's out. Oh, well, it'll come back on. So at that time, because it's out, Matt Beckham called his mom to ask if he could stay over for the night because he said there's no power. I don't want to leave her here in the dark.
I'm scared.
I feel bad, Plus, then I'll get to bang my girlfriend, which is also, or at least I'll get a chance at it. You know what I mean? Maybe we'll fingers crossed.
Right.
So
we'll take our clothes off and make out. Who knows?
Who knows? Right. But you're 16. That sounds pretty damn.
That's awesome.
That sounds like a good night, is what I'm getting at. So, they're doing this, and the mother said, no, though, you're not allowed to stay over there. You got to come home. So he ends up going home. After speaking with his mother, Beckham spoke with Adamczyk and told him that he's going to be going home for the night. And yeah, Mom won't let me stay here. I was going to stay over, but she won't let me. And so then Beckham said that while they were on the phone, Adamczyk was speaking in a whisper, and he said he was at the movies at the time. So he's like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm at the movies. Yeah. So he's talking on the phone in the movies. So a little while after that, Matt Beckham leaves Cassie's aunt and uncle's house and takes off. So
this is horrible. Enjoy the dark ass house.
Bye.
I gotta go.
Mom says I gotta go. So the next
Mom says you're on your own.
You're on your own. So that night goes by. And the next day, it's a Saturday, Matt Beckham and Tori Adamczyk spend the whole day together hanging out. So they hang out all day. Beckham tries repeatedly to call Cassie, but she won't answer the phone, won't text her back. So he doesn't know if he doesn't understand this. If you're going through that, it's like, is she mad at me because I had to leave? Yeah. But he doesn't think so. He's like, I left on good terms. I don't get why she's not answering me. What the fuck's going on here? Why is Cassie not answering me?
I shouldn't have told her she's on her own.
Shit, I shouldn't have said, enjoy the dark. Yeah. Christ, man. You can well, no, that plugs in. I was going to say, you can finally get some use out of that light bright you got when you were a kid. But those plug in. Yeah. So September 24th, 2006 is Sunday. So the 23rd is Saturday. Adamczyk hangs out all day with Beckham. The 24th, Cassie Stoddard's aunt and uncle come home to their house because they were house sitting. They come home and what they find is horrific. They find Cassie's body in there, and it's very, very bloody. Yeah. And they call the police, and the police reveal here that they do a whole crime scene and everything, obviously, investigation. They find that she's been stabbed approximately 30 times. That's too much. And I think any's too much, really.
A girl like that,
I think for any nice 16-year-old girl, I think any amount of stabbing is probably
true.
A bit excessive. But 30, definitely.
That's way too much.
12 of the wounds were considered potentially fatal. Right. So there was 12 real, nasty ones. And a second examination of her body concluded that 2 different knives have been used in the attack. One knife had a serrated blade, and they said that inflicted 11 of the 12 potentially fatal wounds.
Wow.
So that whoever had the serrated blade was going to work with that shit. And then a second single-bladed non-serrated knife inflicted 1 potentially fatal wound, and all the rest were non-fatal. So that person's heart wasn't in it, apparently, as much as the person who was going for organs. So there's a police investigation. Obviously, this is a big, giant deal. This is a nice 16-year-old girl found dead in a rural neighborhood.
Right.
Not normal. Doesn't happen all the time.
Not even at her house. So
that's
it's
what
like
I mean.
if you were looking for her.
Exactly.
And it's very personal.
30 stab wounds.
You knew where she was at.
And there's no sexual assault here or anything like that.
Jesus.
So that's no sexual assault.
Yeah,
so.
but does that make it worse? Do you know what I mean?
I would want the person to not be tortured before they're murdered. So yeah, I would say yeah.
I mean, like in terms of the personal attack, does it make it worse that they weren't even in this for like a sexual purpose?
You
know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't know if that makes them. I don't know if it's worse. I don't know if worse or better are words that you can really throw around in there, or if it's just more horrific levels of horror.
It certainly does something to the level of brutality.
Yeah, it's like it's something.
My point is, you want literally nothing from this person.
Yeah,
which makes it feel, to me, in my heart, much more personal. And,
it feels sleazier when it's like, I'm going to rape this person and then I'm going to kill them so they don't tell on me for doing it. Like, to me, that seems really disgusting.
Yeah, but
although this is just as bad. So this is pointless. There isn't even anything. So police officers contact Draper and Adamczyk after speaking with Matt Beckham, because they're like, well, who's been around? And he said, well, they came over and hung out, but that was that. So Draper is the first to be interviewed. It's not recorded, and he wasn't in custody at that point. They just brought him in because he saw her. So they were like, hey, did you talk to anybody? Did you know anybody that said they were going to see her? Teenage shit, basically. Right. Draper said that he and Adamczyk had gone to see a movie, and it was too late to see the movie they wanted to see, so they ended up seeing a different movie that night because they hung out there for a while. But they ended up seeing the movie Pulse, they said.
I don't remember that one.
2006 American horror film written by Wes Craven and Ray Wright and directed by Jim Sonzero. It's a remake of a Japanese film, and it stars Kristen Bell.
Oh.
And they said they watched that. They said, okay, what's it about? And he went, I have no idea.
Yeah.
You saw it, 2 days ago, and you don't know what the fuck it's about? And he's like, well, I don't know anything about it. Yeah, zoning. You know how it is?
Right.
You get to zoning. So he said he couldn't explain the plot, but he wrote out a description of what he said occurred that evening, with minus the plot of the film. And he said, we drove around, we went to their house, watched a little Kill Bill, got in the car, went to the movie, saw Pulse, went home. That was that. So then they bring in Adam Check and they talk to him. Now they do this. They don't bring him in. They send 2 detectives to his home and they interview him there. Adam Check's father was present for the interview, and the interview was the first of 2 that they did with Adam Check. The first interview here, Adam Check informs them that he and Draper had gone to the place for a party. Said, we went to that house for a party at about 8:30, and he said that it became clear that there was no party going on. It was just them hanging out. So he said, fuck it, let's go see a movie in Pocatello. So they asked Adam Check about the movie, which movie he had seen, and he was unable to describe what the movie was about either. So neither of them know what movie. They don't know anything about the movie they sat through for an hour and a half. Nothing.
You're doing a great job, Wes Craven.
Good job there. Yeah. Wes Craven's such an intriguing writer that 2 people can watch his whole film and go, I have no idea what just happened. None. Nothing. And no clue.
Your acting was fantastic,
Beats
Kristen
me.
Bell.
Shit. I mean, Kristen Bell was something else, boy.
Very memorable.
Very memorable. I'm going to see her in a Walmart commercial someday. I can see it in my brain.
I'll bet a British guy really wants to fuck her one day.
Oh, yeah. So Adam Check, he tells detectives that they're following the movie. He and Draper went to spend the night at his house. That was that. Nothing else. We didn't see shit. So then they go back to Draper for a second interview. Draper's parents are present, but they didn't go into the interview room. This is at the police station. Draper is read his Miranda rights before this interview begins, because now he's a suspect. Yeah. Because they've talked to everybody, and they're the only 2 that were there. They're pretty sure Matt Beckham didn't do it because he came home. His mother saw him at a certain time. He's got no blood on him, anything like that. It's unlikely that it's Matt Beckham, even though he's the boyfriend. So, Draper, still, he maintains that he and Adam Check went to the movie, but after one of the officers told him that he didn't believe they went to the movies, this is all it takes. I don't believe you. Draper said, okay, then we didn't. We don't believe you went to the movies, based on your not even knowing the plot. Right. And he went, okay, yeah, you're right. My bad. Actually, probably went, okay. Sorry. Fuck this kid. So, he said, all right, fine. We didn't do that. We quote, gone through cars, and then said they went to a movie to hide the fact that they were breaking into cars. Okay. That's what they're trying to do, burglarize cars. So when he was told that car burglary story was not convincing, he said, nope, it's the truth, I swear. No, that's what we did. I don't know what to tell you. If you want to arrest me for anything, it's cars breaking into. I stole a whole bunch of coins and,
Didn't take lives, but it did take a cassette tape.
I took some CDs.
You like Celine Dion?
Back then, I mean, they didn't have shit for CDs. You can have them, but
you had a couple of Nickelbacks. They're all yours.
All yours, pal. You can have all of these. Matter of fact, here's a couple bucks for taking them off my hands. So after the interview, Draper just went home with his parents. Now, after the second interview, a detective went to Draper's house and, with the consent of his parents, searched his bedroom for anything they could find. Like, they're looking for gloves or things like that, basically. It's an OJ search.
Murder shit.
It's little murder things. Murder stuff. Right. You know how that works. When you find things that are murdery.
Right.
This whole bag's a little murdery, right? There's stuff in here that just all goes together in a bad way.
Detective, I got a bag here of things. What do you want me to... How should I label this? Oh, just label that one murdery.
Murdery shit.
Murdery shit.
On there. Just put it on there. All sorts of it.
Right. MISC, murder.
Yeah. There you go. All right, good. Good job. So they're looking for shit like that. They find in his room a sheath for a knife. So the case that you put a knife into. Sans knife.
Yeah.
Which he said belonged to his friend, and that he did not know where the knife was, but maybe my friend has it. I don't know. I've had this sheath for a while, and I think it got separated from the knife. My friend has the knife. I don't know. So they take the sheath with them, and they leave. Now the third interview comes the next day, Wednesday, September 27th. So this is every day now. Draper now is again advised of his Miranda rights, and he consents to speak again because he's innocent. Yeah. So innocent. His parents were present for this interview, and at this interview, he admitted that he and Adamczyk unlocked a door at Cassie Joe's aunt and uncle's residence so they could return to scare Cassie and Beckham. That was their plan. Cassie and Matt.
Bad sentence.
Yeah, he's like, we just were going to scare him. Like, hey, boo, you know? Hey, isn't this fun? He also stated that they wore masks, black clothing, and gloves and carried knives with them, which does not sound like you're trying to scare your friends.
No.
You could just wear what you're wearing, and if they don't know you're in the house and you pop up and you go, boo, then they're fucking scared. That's it. Yeah.
It's dark in there.
If you come in masks, black clothing, gloves, and have knives with you, then they'll probably try to kill you to defend themselves. Right. Or, you know.
Or run.
Or shoot you if they have a gun or attack you in some way.
It's Idaho.
Yeah. I see that guy in my house, I'm attacking him. You know what I mean? Period.
Sure.
He's going to attack me, so I'm getting him first.
Right.
Fuck that.
This is why there's guns in my house.
I'm going for your nose and your nutsack.
Right.
Have fun, motherfucker. So he stated here that that's what they did. He then said that after Beckham left, they waited for Matt to leave. After they left, they went upstairs to scare Cassie. That's what they were going to do. He said they got up there and Adamczyk stabbed Cassie, he says. Draper says he thought it was a joke. He thought that it was just a joke to scare him, like he was like pretending to do it, like they had this worked out to scare, like it was now a prank on Draper. He said only later did he realize that Cassie was actually being stabbed. Oh my, This is real. He said he denied that he ever touched or stabbed her at all. He was just in shock that this was going on. He also stated here that he had talked to Adamczyk earlier in the day, and that Adamczyk had threatened to kill him if he told the cops this story. Okay. He's like, I talked to Adamczyk today, I talked to Tori today, and a boy named Tori threatened my life. Yeah. And I'm scared of him. That's what he said. And they went, yeah, we don't buy that. Right. Number one, because you seem like the asshole. And number two, his name is Tori. Let's be honest here.
I'm not scared of him already.
No, we're not scared of him. Not a lot of MMA champions named Tori for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why that is.
I can only think of Torrey Smith. Was he a football player?
Torrey Holt, the wide receiver. Yeah, I mean,
it's the only one I can think of.
He was going bald when he was 22, that guy, so that's a weird.
Torrey Pines, the golf course?
I guess.
Full of soft fucking people?
The Tories, the British Conservative political party.
Tori Amos?
Tori Amos. Yeah, a lot of Tory women. There's a ton of Tories. This is Torey, is how he spells it.
That's like Torrey Pines, right? Isn't
very weird.
I think it's 2 R's. I don't know.
Either way,
doesn't
it's
matter.
Weird.
It's a soft name.
So he's saying, I was threatened by Tori, and if I to tell you this, so I'm sorry, I had to do it though. So basically, the two detectives, they tell Draper they believe there's more to the story. Yeah. More to the story here. They're like, they say, quote, they're videotaping this, quote, are you sure you didn't stab Stoddard? This is Detective Thomas asks Draper in the video. He says, quote, I know you didn't want to stab her, but does Tori at any time make you stab her? And about 2 minutes of similar questioning and all this type of shit. And there's a lot of hemming and hawing.
Sure.
Finally, Draper says yes. And he admitted that he stabbed Stoddard as well. And he tells the detectives he stabbed her 3 or 4 times because Adamczyk made him. Right. He said, quote, Adamczyk came over and says, make sure she's dead. You need to stab her. And made him do it after, he had already, Adamczyk
clearly dead.
Been stabbing like crazy. Then he says, tell you what, to show that I'm serious here, guys, I'm going to show you where we ditched all of the murdery stuff.
Oh, boy.
What do you say there?
I got a miscellaneous ditch full of miscellaneous shit.
Well, they do, too. Yeah. And they go with detectives. The Draper goes with the detectives and with his father. Let his father come, too. You imagine the whole time.
Oh, he's so mad.
I can't imagine my father. I can't imagine it on the way. The shit he would be saying to me.
The fuck did you do?
You son of a fuck. I can't fucking believe you fucking embarrassed. He'd be backhanding me at every fucking turn. It would be, and he'd be right. Yeah. I'm not saying my father wasn't abusive.
Pointing to a church,
he'd be so disgusted with me that he would just fucking want to kill me himself.
Making them turn their heads while he pummels you.
Son of a bitch bastard. Now, my mom, on the other hand, would be the opposite. Yeah. She would be trying to tell the cops why they're wrong, and that even if I did kill her, I'm sure that she attacked me first.
I'm sure there was a reason.
Sure, there was a reason.
He disarmed her.
He's a nice young man.
He took the knife from her.
That's what it would be, seriously. And my grandmother. My grandmother go, no, I'm sure she had. sorry, I had plenty of reason. He's a nice boy. That's what she'd say. It's okay.
I'll take him home. I teach a lesson.
Yeah, that's Italian women. They're down for you, though. They're down for
Italian men, watch the fuck out.
Well, they're being realistic about you, little fucking asshole. What are you getting caught doing shit like this for?
Why'd you get caught?
My dad actually told me that when I was a kid, too. Not about murder, but about things. He's like, I'm not mad at you. Kids do things. He goes, don't fucking get caught. That's what I get mad at. Don't you get caught, then I'm mad at you. Okay. Get away with things. Like, I got in a fight in school, and he was only mad because I got caught when I was 16. He's like, can't go around the fucking corner. You got to show off. That's what he told me. You got to show off. You got to punch this kid in front of people. You can't take him around the corner and kick the shit out of him.
Your dad's the best.
He is. He was right, though. I went, you know what? Good point. I couldn't argue with him.
I couldn't hold my anger for just a second longer.
Well, I made it a spectacle.
Sorry, Dad,
that was I was a show off. That's what it was. I wanted everyone to see. And that's stupid. I shouldn't have done that. I should have been like, hey, come here, let me talk to you for a minute, and then punched him in the fucking throat and left him there. That would have been the smart move.
It's the worst dad advice ever, but it's awesome.
It's great advice. That's what Italian fathers give you. Advice on how to get away with violence. It's wonderful.
It's life lessons.
It is.
It's translatable life that will actually help you.
I'm telling
you. A good dad goes, you don't fucking
don't do that.
What's wrong with you?
My dad,
It's like, get caught?
Listen.
I look like an asshole.
I know reality here, all right? The reality is you're going to get in fights once in a while. You're a fucking teenager. It happens. So when you do, try not to get caught for it.
Don't give me a phone call.
I don't want a phone call from the school.
I called him recently because he's dealing with some shit. And
That's what it was.
He goes, I can't believe this is happening. You know, to somebody else, I don't know. She's so nice. They're just a nice person. And then he goes, to me, I expect it. I'm an asshole.
Yeah, that's my father.
He goes, I deserve that. Do you know the things I've said to my kids? That's what he said to me.
Yeah. It's fucking funny, man. But
you know how I've treated my children?
I'm telling you. You get that, though. It's nice life advice to get from people. My grandmother would be the same way. It's wonderful.
Your dad's the best.
They're realistic. That's all.
Amazing.
So they go to a Black Rock Canyon area, and they direct the detectives to a site where they buried the murdery stuff. What they find in this treasure trove of murder is, wow, this is just, they put it all in one place. Stick matches, like wooden matches, a pair of black boots, a pair of blue rubber gloves, a pair of Athletic Works brand fingerless gloves, a melted brown hydrogen peroxide bottle, melted, a multicolored mask, a large dagger-type knife with a sheath, a silver and black-handled knife with a signature of Sloan written on the inside, a small dagger-type knife within a sheath, a Sony videotape, which is the tape that all this shit was on, because they buried that in the fucking thing, a black-handled serrated folding knife. By the way, DNA testing revealed that Carrie's blood was present on this knife. Cassie, did I say Carrie? Yeah. Cassie's, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Apologies. A partly burned piece of paper with writing in pencil, and we'll find out what that says on it and who wrote it in a minute.
Do you think they thought that they could pour peroxide on this and light it on fire, and they mixed up peroxide and alcohol?
Well, maybe. Do you think so?
You think so?
But melted? Why did they melt the bottle?
I don't know. Maybe they really tried to light it on fire.
Fuck, we'll light the bottle on fire? That's a weird way of going about it. Hey, let's start a fire with this gas. Light the gas can on fire and let's go. What? Shouldn't we get the gas that's inside of it?
Yeah.
Let's get what's in it. The fuck, man. So a red and white mask. Later DNA revealed there's a partial DNA profile of Adam Check in this mask. A single black glove, OJ's other glove. Later, DNA testing revealed a partial DNA profile from an unknown male on this single black glove, which who knows could have got picked up somewhere. Right. A pair of partially burned black Puma brand gloves. They tried to burn I feel like they tried to burn a couple things. They go, well, that doesn't work well. Let's just bury it.
This is hard.
This is shit. Later DNA testing revealed that Stoddard's blood had soaked into these gloves. That's why they were probably trying to burn them. A blue plastic garbage bag, a partially burned black long-sleeved Hager brand dress shirt, a Calvin Klein black dress shirt. So they wore black dress shirts over there. They were like, oh, do you have your shirt from your grandma's funeral?
Right.
I'll wear mine.
Weird.
Later DNA testing revealed that Carrie's blood was present on the shirt cuff there. A white and a gray sock and a small piece of black cord. That's what they find in the hole. Now, More importantly, though, they find these videotapes, and this is what's on the videotape, and this shit is terrible. Okay, this is a selection of it. This is recorded September 22nd at 9:53 p.m. and 20 seconds, okay? That's the night that they were going back and forth, the night that obviously the Carrie is at her house, or Cassie is at her aunt and uncle's house. So, this here, it's dark, and Draper and Adam Check are sitting in a car. That's the setup. Draper says, we're here in his car. The time is 9:50, September 22nd, 2006. Unfortunately, we have the grueling task of killing our two friends, and they are right in that house just down the street. And Adam Check said, we just talked to them. We were there for about an hour, and then Draper said, we checked out the whole house. We know there's lots of doors. There's lots of places to hide. I unlocked the back doors. It's all unlocked. Now we just have to wait, and we're really nervous right now, but we're ready.
As a cop listening to that,
can you imagine?
To be like, what the fuck am I watching?
You got to be like, let's get these little motherfuckers back in here again. Right. Not only that, they sound like they're preparing for a football game. Yeah. Like, we're nervous, but we're ready. We practiced hard all week. Coach has us
game tape.
Coach has us ready for the challenge. I feel like we're going to rise to it.
Oh boy.
Adam Check says, quote, we're listening to the greatest rock band ever. And Draper says, we've waited a long time for this. And Adam Check says, Pink Floyd, before we commit the ultimate crime of murder. So apparently that's the greatest rock band of all time to these two murderers is Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd's a great band. Yeah. I'm sure they would not like to be put in this particular scenario. So Draper then says, we've waited a long time for this again. And then Adam Check says, a long time. And Draper says, well, stay tuned. Okay. Tape starts back up again at 11:31 and 56 seconds. So about, an hour and 40 minutes later.
Right.
It starts back up again, and this is fucking insane. They're in a car driving, okay? Draper says, just killed Cassie. We just left her house. This is not a fucking joke. Adam Check says, I'm shaking. Draper says, quote, I stabbed her in the throat and I saw her lifeless body. It just disappeared. Dude, I just killed Cassie. And Adam Check says, oh my God. And then Draper says, oh, fuck. That felt like it wasn't even real. It went by so fast. And Adam Check says, shut the fuck up. We got to get our act straight. Draper says, it's okay. We will just buy movie tickets now. And then Adam Check says, okay. And then they say bye. They're excited. There's not a hint.
Oh, boy.
Not a hint of anything. They're just like, pooh, like literally, we just beat fucking South High. Isn't that great? Like, this is their football game.
Gross.
It's fucking disgusting and hideous. And you just hope, as I'm reading it, I'm just hoping that the tape is stopped by them careening off the road and into a fucking tree where they both fire out through the windshield and into a fucking, I don't know, a thumbtack and rubbing alcohol factory. I have no fucking idea. Whoa. Like a cartoon. Like I want them to go through one of those, then be like shot into like a tar thing and then rolled in feathers and then set on fire by like another mechanism, like the Coyote or some shit. That's what I want to happen to these two fucking dipshit dingus assholes.
Just like a real Left Eye from TLC moment where the camera pans to the back seat, then pans to the front, and then they're rolling.
Yeah, except people who deserve tumbling,
it. Right.
Yeah. Well, Andre Rison might. But outside of Andre Rison, I don't think anyone else thinks she deserves it.
Maybe his insurance company thinks she deserves it.
They're like, you fucking asshole. So what they did was, how did they do this? When Matt left, they went around to the circuit breaker in the basement. That's how they turned the lights off.
So they were the only house cut out.
Circuit breaker in the basement, and they went and waited in the basement hoping that Cassie would come downstairs to flip the breaker. And that was the original plan, but they just waited down there forever because no one came downstairs because she just thought the power was out and it would come back on. Because a lot of times, 16-year-olds don't even know how to fucking flip a circuit breaker. They don't know that's what the power... They just think power company will put it back on eventually. Yeah. So that's what happens. She just hangs out upstairs. So they get tired of waiting in the basement for her, and eventually they go upstairs. They had masks on. They had, as we found out, black dress shirts on, like they were waiters in an Italian restaurant, and dark colored clothes. All of this. Brian had this is Draper, had the dagger type knife, and Tori had a hunting style knife. This is the stabbing of Cassie 30 times, like we said. So anyway, At that point, they arrest Draper after they find the whole cache of shit, and they put him in jail. And Draper was interviewed a fourth time after that. They attempted to contact Draper's parents, but were unable to do so. So they gave him Miranda rights again, and he was told that he could have his parents present, and he agreed to go on with the interview anyway. And he initially repeated that Adamczyk was the only person who stabbed Stoddard, and then they were like, dude, what the fuck? That was that whole deal. And so, after stabbing Stoddard in the leg, Draper said that Adamczyk told him it's not going to work. She has to die. And then, that was all of that. About 20 minutes into the interview, he asked if he could see his parents, and they ended the interview. So, because he's under 18. Yeah. The note that they found, partially burned note, was recovered, and they say that they believe it's in Adamczyk's handwriting. Mm-hmm. And it was brought into his trial a lot more. Portion of the note here that's not burned reads, and there's pieces burned off, so we only have parts of sentences. It's just, is home alone, stop, and then there's a line, out of the house, then runs into Tori, and then we murder Cassie, and then the letter E, a little lowercase, like it's the end of a word, is home alone, and then ouse, like house without the H. Brian chases her, TH, and then her, and then two words they can't make out, and then kill her. And then it says, if Cassie plus Matt come HO, and then it says annoys, and there's something, and then kill Matt plus. It's a fucking plan. We're going to do, it's literally, we're going to do A, B, C, and D. We're going to run these plays.
It's the screenplay.
Yeah, if the defense is stopping the run, then we're going to audible out into the hot read. That's literally what they said.
That's horrible, man.
It's fucking disgusting. They planned it out like that. So after they found the evidence, then they brought Adamczyk in, and they were like, okay, Chief, Mr. Innocent, let's talk to you here.
This is what we got.
This is what we got. Let's lay it. You need a bigger table to lay all this shit out on. The table in here's not big enough. Someone bring in the fucking Thanksgiving. Bring in the banquet table that we had for the feast last time.
The two fold-out plastics. Bring those in.
When they get us pizza once a year, that one that they did. They put them on. You know what I mean? So he tells the detectives here that they arrived there at 8 o'clock, got a tour of the home, watched Kill Bill, left at 10, tried to break into cars, and stated over the course of that they made several calls to Beckham. They talked to him, found out he was leaving. He said that he and Draper returned to the house at about 11:30 p.m. and did not leave for the remainder of the night at his house. That's it. He's sticking to his original story. Yeah. Then they said, funny, because they didn't tell him at first we got all this shit. They just said, tell us again what you got? He didn't know Draper had
Johnson, press play, would you?
Let's do that there. It's on video.
Watch this cool video we got.
They say, actually, Adamczyk, people saw you at a convenience store later on. A convenience store called Common Sense with a CENTS. And Adamczyk stated, they went to the store so that Draper could buy matches for cigarettes. That's why. So you don't have to buy matches, by the way. No. And by the way, who the fuck makes matches for free? I've never seen a match, those stick ones for like a grill they have, but like a matchbook. No one's ever paid a cent for one of those, but they've been producing them forever in mass quantities. Isn't that weird?
Well, it's because places buy them with their fucking place printed on it, and it's like advertising.
But if you buy a pack of cigarettes at the store, they go matches.
Yeah. And then they give you a white book with no writing on it.
They offer you matches for free. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is that about? Who's making those? Right. They have to cost something to make.
It's got to be the gas station, right? The whatever convenience store.
Someone's got fingers crossed, like, I've been making matches in this factory for 120 years. We're going to turn a profit one of these days.
We're going to make money.
One of these days, we're going to be in the black, guys. We can do it. More matches, pump them out. More matches is the answer, I figured. I feel like if we can just flood the market,
saturate it,
then there's no way they can not buy our matches, right?
We'll make the most.
Jesus,
then we'll make money, right?
And then we'll make, right? Yeah.
How many do you got to make to turn a profit?
None, a million, a trillion, a billion. It's only the printer that I don't know. Wow.
Because the paper's like made of something specific too. And then you got to put fuel in that because the sulfur just gets it going.
Yeah, sulfur.
And then there's like that little wrinkle in it where you can see where the fuel is.
And on the back is the strip.
Right.
So there's a machine that makes that someone put. There's a lot of shit going on. Someone has to come in and fix it when it breaks.
There's staples.
Who's paying
involved?
These people?
Yeah.
There's staples. Staples cost money. I bought a box of staples. It's a few bucks. Like, you have to buy staples. All this stuff costs money. How are they free? What is happening?
Everything in matches is free.
It's all free. Never paid for a fucking match in a book in my life, ever.
Never.
I've never heard of anyone paying for them.
I've got a drawer at home full of them.
Yeah.
Full.
Stop whenever you're going home tonight or you're driving or you're doing something, stop at the closest convenience store, run in and just go, get a pack of matches. They'll just throw you one.
They'll give you 2.
I was going to say, they'll say, you need more than one? They'll just give you more. Go in and ask for anything else in that store for free.
Yeah.
No.
Go in real hurried and be like, can I get a book of matches? They'll give you one. And they'll be like, can I get Twinkies? No. They're $2.19. What are you
fucking
talking
nuts? They're in the aisle 4. Even if you got a plastic fork, they'd be like, you got to buy a taquito or a something. You're not getting that. But matches? There you go, Chief. Enjoy.
Fuck out of my store.
Fuck out of my store. Enjoy. Oh, yeah, matches. Here you go. How many can we get you, sir? It's what a weird match economy that's going on.
Are the cigarette companies funding that? Because
I don't know.
Because they're making billions, by the way.
I am shocked. I'm just shocked by the match thing. I know we veered off the course here, but
Marlboro's got to be. It's got to be Big Marlboro. It's got to be.
There's something big behind this, I feel like. Maybe there's tracking devices in the matches. That's going to be the new conspiracy.
Yeah.
So, Jesus Christ. So at the end of this interview, they go, oh, by the way, we found a shitload of evidence at that Black Rock Canyon. So I have a bunch there. You might want to talk about that quick. And Adam responded by saying, can I talk to an attorney? Which is the smart thing to do, rather than Draper, who said, okay, I'll tell you everything. And then when I'm done, I'll ask for my parents.
Right. Can I go home now?
Yeah. No, you can't. So Jesus Christ. They stopped questioning, and Adam Czech immediately, they stopped questioning him right away and exited the room, allowing Adam Czech and his father to talk in a private room. That's different, okay? Yeah. Now, following the private meeting, Adam Czech and his
psychic.
They had a reading. They got Miss Cleo in there. Adam Czech and his father and the detectives reconvened in the interview room, where the detectives told Adam Czech that he's going to be arrested, obviously, and informed him, we have all this shit tons of evidence and your partner's statement and all of this stuff. And so, that was that. And they said he made both verbal and nonverbal replies, but he's under fucking arrest, so it doesn't matter. Now, February of 2008, Judge Peter McDermott allowed Adam Czech's attorney's request for the state to pay for a brain scan because he claims that Adam Czech has a organic brain deficiency of some kind.
You think he's a lawnmower man?
Yeah, he's got he's got some like head injury that causes him to not be able to, but he's had no problems his whole life. It's like that.
No, your friend's the one that stutters.
Yeah, not you. Yeah. So in his ruling, he said, quote, this is the judge, Mr. Adam Czech is a needy person. He's being detained under a conviction of a serious crime. And since he's been fixed here, blah, 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 Mr. Adam Czech does not have the funds or the ability to generate funds necessary to conduct the neuropsychological examination requested by his attorney. Yeah. So the trials start here. They say he's fine. Yeah. Trials start, and they're both charged with 1 count of murder in the first degree, 1 count of conspiracy to commit murder in the first degree, and they each move to sever their trials, and they do that. So they have separate trials, because they're both blaming each other. Right. Draper says it's all Adam Czech. Adam Czech says it's all Draper. Yeah. My life's gone downhill since he moved here, the whole deal. So Draper files also a motion to suppress his 4th interview, saying that because his parents were not present, he had not voluntarily consented to the interview because he's a minor, so he can't really waive anything. His parents would have to waive that shit, basically. Now, the court denied this motion, finding that in light of the totality of the circumstances, in light of the clearness of you being a complete asshole, in light of you having a bag of murder shit, right, we are going to say, go fuck yourself. That's a pretty adult move.
And fuck the bag. Everything, those tapes have enough incriminating evidence.
You don't need anything else.
Fuck everything else.
You don't need anything. She's dead.
Throw the blood
That's
away.
Them saying we did it.
Right.
That's enough right there. And exactly how and everything else. So, they said Draper voluntarily waived his right to remain silent, and his parents had not unequivocally invoked his right to counsel. So, fuck yourself. Now, at trial, the jury hears a shitload of forensic testimony, which is very sad, obviously, in these pictures. And the family, too. I mean, this family, the family is fucking just devastated. Yeah. The family of Cassie, as you can imagine. Jesus Christ. So, Wow. At jury here, they hear all this forensic evidence. The jury hears there's a Dr. Steve Scalmel. He performed the autopsy and said that he determined the cause of death was stab wounds to the trunk of the body, like torso, and documented all the knife wounds. They also had a forensic pathologist come in and examine Cassie, and this doctor says, quote, "It's my opinion that there were at least 2 knives used, one of which was non-serrated blade and one of which was a serrated blade." So, yeah, they said in general, the majority of the potentially fatal wounds were inflicted by the serrated blade. And he goes on to that. There's one stuck right in the right ventricle of the heart.
God damn it.
That was inflicted by a non-serrated blade, but all the other ones were serrated blades, the fatal wounds. Now, Draper, the jury takes, as you can imagine, not too long to come back with fucking guilty. They didn't even say guilty. The foreman said, motherfucking guilty. Your Honor, we've decided that the defendant is motherfucking guilty. I'm sorry, Your Honor. We apologize for the language, but we felt very strongly about it. It was a group decision to put the motherfucking in there.
We all convened at the local tabernacle.
And we said, you know what? These kids, they're not just guilty. They're fucking guilty. I'm telling you right now. And both...
The bishop agreed.
The bishop agreed. Both of these trials, those juries were totally sequestered as well. These were like OJ, basically, because up there... There's no, you can't get away from this. No. You know what I mean? You can't just go home and not have people be talking about it. It's a big deal. So, murder in the first degree. He is found guilty there. We'll talk about sentencing in a moment. Well, let's talk about sentencing now with Draper. His sentencing, the court ordered a pre-sentence investigation with the psychological evaluation for Draper and all that. The court allowed Draper's parents to sit in on the pre-sentence interviews with Draper. They really handled him with, gentleness here. The investigator wrote to the district court asking that Draper's parents not be allowed to sit in on the interview, though, stating, quote, "I question whether Draper can be totally honest regarding his relationships, to include sexual relationships, or even substance abuse issues with a family member present. As the court is aware, any areas of deception could reflect poorly on Mr. Draper if the truth should come out. I'm also concerned the parents, in an effort to protect their son or themselves, will interfere with my interview if they do not like the direct questions regarding the crime or issues related to any abuse or neglect." So, yeah, the court ruled that Draper's parents could not attend the pre-sentence interview after that. So they don't. He said he objected to the pre-sentence interview, arguing that the investigator was biased and that it did not conform to the dictates of Idaho law. This pre-sentence interview said it's bullshit, and files a motion and a thing and a blah, blah, blah. And the judge says, "Oh, yeah? How about this, sir? You, sir." We'll talk about it in a second here. The judge now think about when the judge is sentencing this guy.
Right.
He's not just going to hit him with it. He's going to lead up and tell him what a piece of shit he is for this. Because this is the judge's moment to shine, too.
And it's Idaho.
A 16-year-old girl died. Right. Everybody's watching. Mm-hmm. This is your chance to fucking say something. So he discussed the brutal nature of the crime and stated he was convinced that if Draper, quote, if Draper were released, that he would kill again. I'm convinced of that beyond a reasonable doubt, the judge said. Not good. No. So the district court says, "You, sir, may fuck off a fixed life sentence for first-degree murder and an indeterminate life sentence with 30 years fixed for conspiracy to commit murder in the first degree. Life without parole."
As an adult.
They
sentenced him as an adult.
They banged him as an adult, life without parole.
And that was Draper.
That's Draper.
Ooh.
Yeah, they got him good.
Yeah.
Those tapes were they played him in court, man.
And that's a kid that helped. You know what I mean? He assisted them with all this shit.
Yeah, but when you play those tapes in court, because when you hear about what somebody did, it sounds horrible, but you think in your head, well, they must have been like sullen about it or like whatever. If you see them afterwards like, woo, we just did this and you're like, oh, fuck you, mother. Like, no, you want to have fun?
Gleefully.
How about life in prison fun? That's going to be fun, right?
Reveling in what they just did.
In the pain that you've caused there.
Boy.
And for Tory here, this is for Adam Check, his defense is this, and this is fucking ridiculous. Yeah. He says, imagine being his lawyer having to try to explain this in opening statements. What Adam Check actually thought he and Draper were doing was making a movie.
Yeah.
He didn't realize it was real.
Right.
He said, I didn't realize that Draper actually wanted to kill this person. I thought we were making a movie here. I thought we were fucking around. And he said Draper and Draper alone killed Cassie. Must have gone at it with 2 knives, double fisting that shit.
Right.
He also relied on what he called the lack of incriminating scientific evidence, which is okay. Cassie's blood was found on 1 shirt, 1 knife, a black folding knife there, 1 glove, all the mask. He says that Adam Check's DNA from either saliva or skin was found on the mask that did not test positive for Cassie's blood. The glove with Cassie's blood on it was a soccer glove, and Draper was a soccer player. Adam Check was excluded as a contributor of DNA found under Cassie's fingernails on the glove and on the shirt that also had Cassie's blood on it. Here's my theory. Draper did the hardcore stabbing because he enjoyed this shit, and then he made Adam Check come in and stab, or not made him, but
after everything's already
Adam Check came in, he's like, yeah, I'm stabbing too.
Right.
And made some superficial fucking wounds because I think he's the pussy of the group.
But he got one in the heart.
That's what I mean. It's disgusting. What he did was disgusting.
Yeah.
No, I'm not defending it at all.
No blame of that fucker. Tarantino? They watched the Tarantino
That's
movie
true. They should have. Well, maybe if he did it with a sword, it would have been different.
Would have been out front of the whole Weinstein thing, just blaming Weinstein for everything.
There you go. You know what? They could have probably
trailblazers
made a couple bucks later on. So the defense also brought in an expert who's a forensic pathologist. This expert said he believes that only a single knife, 1 knife with a serrated blade, caused these injuries. He testified he had no doubt that wound number 22 was inflicted. This is the wound that they say was inflicted. The 1 fatal single blade wound. He said was a serrated blade similar to the partially serrated knife found at the evidence site. Yeah. He also testified that after causing wound number 22, the serrated blade continued through Cassie's hand to inflict wound, a different wound here. He also believes that the other doctor, Dr. Garrison, might have mixed up wounds 1 and 2. So he's like, bad job by the state's forensic people. And that's what he says. And then Mark Klinger, who's a retired crime scene and fraud investigator, he testified for the defense as well. He said that he believed, based on what he called, quote, a single blood drop path at the crime scene, that Cassie was murdered by a single assailant and that only 1 knife was used. He acknowledged that he never previously investigated a murder involving knives and that he was not trained in forensic science.
Only 1 knife did this. I don't know shit.
Hi, I'm Mark. I'd like to give you my opinion on shit I don't know about. Anybody you know what? My Twitter's open. Ask me. Ed Jimmie P is funny. Just ask me shit. Ask me shit like how to fix your engine.
Right.
Just a bunch of shit I don't know about, and I will give you a confident opinion on it. I swear. Ask me anything. I'll tell you exactly how to do it. Won't be real or true. Might be by accident, but it's not going to be out of knowledge.
I hate that.
What a fucking idiot. Why'd they let him testify? Who are you again? Fuck out of my court right now.
Don't worry. My schedule's clear.
Yeah, I got this. No. Why don't we just go pick a guy who's sleeping under a fucking box on the side of the court and bring him in here and ask him his opinion on it?
I hate that.
He's probably at least seen a stabbing in his life. The fuck are you doing?
I hate that the stab wounds are numbered. I mean, granted, you have to do that to be able to count them.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to identify them with a specific number. But
exactly.
Saying
for court
wound
purposes.
Number 22.
It makes it sound real impersonal.
Makes your stomach really fucking turn, man. That means there's at least 21 others. And granted, varying degrees of severity.
That's true, though.
Number 22, that's a lot.
It makes it more impersonal. Yeah. It just makes it seem like almost like it's this
is body number whatever.
Yeah, it's not a human being. That's not a girl named Cassie Stoddard who was
just
dead and whose family doesn't have a kid. It's ridiculous. So. Ugh. Yeah, it's crazy, man. So also the defense took aim at the police investigation. They say that the investigation was shoddy. You don't need much of an investigation. No. And once the detectives found the videotapes, they stopped investigating. Yeah. They found the proof.
I don't need
That's
it
the proof of the crime. What else do you need? Got it. Got the proof.
Here we go.
Fuck else are you looking for?
Can we go home now?
Yeah. Here's a big bag. It's not even like, we found a tape. Let's try a knife now. Right. It's a whole bag of everything they needed. What the fuck else are you looking for?
It's everything.
You've talked to the boyfriend and you found the bag. Those are the only people that were there, the only people that would know, and all the evidence. What the fuck else do you need? Jesus
Christ.
They
quit when they solved it. It's bullshit.
It's super bullshit. I hate it when that happens. They totally stopped.
They didn't even keep going.
He's got the total OJ defense. Like, he's like, I mean, they fixated on me just because her blood's all over me, and then they stopped investigating. It's crazy. So, at Adamczyk's sentencing hearing, a neuropsychologist, Dr. Mark Korgiat, testified that he was immature for his age and demonstrated a pattern of neurocognitive defects, such as less than appropriate, age-appropriate things like judgment, impulse control, complex problem solving, etc.
Hope you never meet me, sir.
No shit.
39. I'm super immature.
So Adamczyk is convicted, obviously. There's a lot there. But he's really going hard at the sentencing. He wants to, show how good of a kid he is. Sure. Yeah, because they had separate sentencing hearings. He brought in a special education teacher that testified that Adamczyk had individualized education plan, an IEP. Lots of kids have IEPs. If you're dyslexic, you get an IEP. I have to do that fucking twice a year. Trust me, not a big deal. Doesn't mean that he doesn't know anything.
Right.
It just means that he might be slow in one area of school because of a learning disability, that he was a model student, and that he was not a leader. Another teacher testified that Adamczyk was kind, cooperative, and respectful, that he never complained, and that he was naive and gullible and very trusting, maybe too trusting. And Adamczyk's parents and siblings and other family members also testified at the sentencing hearing. Additional evidence was presented that they presented about Draper that said, his writings as a child, saying that he'd been thinking about hurting or killing classmates for several years. And Adamczyk stated during his pre-sentence interview that when he and Draper went into the house, Adamczyk believed they were just going in to scare Cassie. Yeah. So, it sounds like he's going to get off light, right? Dr. Kenneth Lindsay did a psychological evaluation on Adamczyk, but didn't testify. His report was there, concluded that Adamczyk was immature for his age, had only fair insight, and had somewhat disorganized thought processes. He also said that he suffered from depression and anxiety. So there's all of that. The state presented in rebuttal evidence from 2 computers from the Adamczyk residence, evidence that was stored under his name, his username. Evidence included all his porn.
Oh, no.
They brought in all his porn. They brought in his whole fucking, basically everything, his whole porn history they put out.
Fucking nightmare.
In front of the fucking jury.
Oh, my God.
And his parents and everything. Now, here's where he was... He was into black chicks with big asses for a minute, but he seemed to go very, very quickly.
He only watched 1:23 of this one.
So either he didn't like it at all or a lot, or he really liked it a lot. One of the two. One of the two. Either it was great or terrible. We're not sure.
If you get 15 minutes into a porn, you hate it.
Well, yeah.
You literally hate it.
You hate it.
That's not your shit.
Wherever a porn is stopped, that's either where the person gave up on it and didn't like it anymore, or where it was great. Either one of the two.
Gave up because he was tired.
That moment pushed them over the edge in one way or the other. That's how that works.
Sleepy or ready for more.
That's right. So... Through all of this, also victim impact statements come in, and Cassie's whole family is they want fucking blood from these two, and I don't blame them.
And they know what they tug to now.
Oh, now they know what they tug to, which makes it worse.
Can you imagine knowing that this guy hurt your family,
amazing.
And then also knowing what he wrestles
what he's into, and he's like, oh Jesus. So the judge says, well, you, sir, may fuck off. Indeterminate life with 30 years fixed for the conspiracy. Same sentence.
Samesies.
Life without parole, fucker.
Wow.
He got exactly the same shit. Didn't matter. So now Draper has been, once he's in jail, once he's in prison, was having things posted to his MySpace page. Okay, so he's got MySpace shit from prison. This asshole. He says, quote, many things have happened since the last time I updated this page. I've moved to the prison in Boise, Idaho, and I'm in a transition stage that may last a couple weeks. Following the transition, I'll be moved to a new location in Boise, where biker gangs will use me as fucking currency. That's all it is up there.
I'm about to turn into a $20 bill,
I'm about to turn into a fucking pinhole cushion from the Aryan Brotherhood. He says, quote, I want you all to know that I'm hanging in there. Things get rough from time to time, and I don't go a week without breaking down at least once. But overall, my life is okay. I keep busy by going to religious services, attending educational classes, creative writing, computers, Let's keep the writing at a minimum. Yeah. Writing, reading, and playing a lot of chess. I'm also able to play the piano down at the chapel. I play piano for church services, and for an hour a week, I can play piano in solitude. I wrote a song dedicated to everything that's happened. It's called Sorrows and Sunrises.
All right.
No.
Thank
fuck I don't have the lyrics for this song, because that would be terrible. Actually, it'd be great because we could make fun of him in his deepest thoughts. He said...
It's him trying to say the two words, what is it, sorrows and sunrises?
Sorrows and sunrises. I can't say either of those. Trying to practice.
And sunshine.
Sounds like a Christopher Cross song, doesn't it? Sorrows and sunrises over the breeze. Fucking no. So, a James Taylor song or some shit. He said, currently I'm in the appeals process so that maybe someday I can be released and start redeeming myself on the outside like I'm doing now on the inside.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Ooh.
I'm in the STOP program here, which is a program that brings kids into the facility and inmates to speak with them about being a good person and staying out of trouble. I'm one of the inmates that speaks to kids. He's like, guys, my butthole's fucking, it's destroyed. It just looks like a clump, like if someone put a handful of ham and threw it against the wall. That's what it looks like now. Just a handful of, like a half pound of ham thrown up against the fucking wall. That's how my asshole was. Do you understand?
Stay in school.
Stay in school.
They call me Keys because, A, I play the piano, and there's these two long things that are both white and black going in and out of my asshole. It's pretty good.
Yeah, all the time.
All day long.
Jesus Christ.
Keys. Remember
Keys,
that.
That's good.
What they call me.
Wow. Jesus Christ. Yeah, he says, if I spend the rest of my time locked in prison, I'll rise above that. If God wants me to stay here, then this is where I'll stay. I'll leave you with two good sayings. I wept because I had no shoes till I saw a man who had no feet. He's getting deep now.
Oh, my God.
Two men looked out through prison bars. One saw mud, the other saw stars. Oh, God, Jesus, I want to punch this kid so bad. I want to take him into like a wrestling ring and perform like fucking WWE moves on him. I want to power bomb him. I want to come off the top rope on him. I want to fucking pummel him with a chair. Don't you? Think you just want to do shit like that to him?
Handcuff him.
I would put him in the Boston Crab and snap his back in half. I really want to fucking work him over.
Sergeant Slaughter calling him a maggot.
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. I want it all. He said, thanks again for all your love and support. I pray you're all doing well. I love you, and thank you for believing in me. Never forget Cassie Joe Stoddard.
Fuck
your
you,
friend.
Dude.
Fuck you. I can't
that.
believe he fucking, you piece of shit.
Never forget her, because if you think of her, then you have to think of me. That's what that says.
Your friend Brian.
Gross.
And it says people he'd like to meet. Hemingway, Albert Einstein. Fucking nobody wants to meet you. I'd like to meet you to fucking kick you in the dick. That's what I'd like to meet you. You want to meet somebody? You're going to meet me and Jimmy. Yeah. We're going to kick the shit out of you. How's that sound?
He's met a lot of Jimmys.
I bet he has. A few. 2010, there's the Stoddard family files a civil lawsuit against the Idaho school district, claiming the school was negligent and should have known that Draper and Adamczyk posed a threat to others because they were videotaping in school with shit and they weren't being observed, is what they're saying. Both the civil court and state Supreme Court dismissed the case, saying the actions of the killers were not foreseeable, which I kind of agree with. You can't keep an eye on 2,000 kids and exactly what they're thinking and writing and doing, and that's impossible. As much as I want the Stoddard family, I want them to be able to sue everybody and win, because what happened to them is no one should ever have to go through that. It's fucking disgusting to ever even think about someone going through that, but that's hard to say in a lawsuit. I feel terrible saying it because I want them to win, because I just want them to get some sort of
point
relief.
Is they blamed the right people and it's over. They're in jail. They got what legally we can do to them.
I mean, I get that they're trying to prevent in the future, because I think that was the point of it, was to prevent this shit in the future. But it's impossible. You just can't keep that close an eye on kids. You can't. It's just not possible. In prison, people do that shit, and they're in prison.
Right.
Like, these kids have freedom of movement. You can't keep that close an eye.
They film shit in prison. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's crazy.
So one of the appeals here for Draper, there's different ones. There's one for September of 2010s for Adamczyk, April of 2011 for Draper. Draper's seeking to have his conviction vacated or to be given a limited life sentence that would allow for his release on parole after 30 years. The first appeal for both of them was denied. Both of them in a 3-2 decision on that.
Somebody agreed too.
Well, yeah, the high court vacated Draper's conviction on conspiracy to commit murder in the first degree, saying that the jurors were given erroneous instructions on that charge, but they affirmed his conviction for first degree murder and life sentence without parole. So Draper actually got the conspiracy thrown out there, but it doesn't matter because he's still convicted of the more heavily punishable crime. So his appeal, he argued that the jury instructions were misleading. He pointed to language in instruction 13, which states, in order for the defendant to be guilty of first degree murder, the state must prove that the murder was willful, deliberate, and it's hard to say willful and deliberate together, and premeditated killing. Premeditated means to consider beforehand whether or not to kill, blah, blah, blah. Draper argues that by failing to define willfulness, the court relieved the state of its burden of proving one of the elements of the crime beyond a reasonable doubt.
What?
Willfulness.
I get it, but how do you not see that tape and go, they planned it and we're fucking into it?
He seemed way more than willful.
And he was more willful, it seemed like, after the fact than before.
Yeah, he was thrilled about it.
Jacked.
And he was the one saying, he said, quote, I stabbed her in the throat.
I saw her lifeless body disappear.
He said that, not Adamczyk. That's what Draper said. So if he said, I stabbed her in the throat, that's a lot right there.
That's willful to hurt, to certainly kill.
Pretty fucking willful. So both of them, they tell him to fuck off and sit in jail, basically. 2016, the United States Supreme Court makes some decisions. They rule that mandatory sentences of life without the possibility of parole are unconstitutional for juvenile offenders, even in cases of murder, ruling that the youth of the convict had to be considered. It was Montgomery versus Louisiana later on that this doctrine had been applied to cases retroactively and directed a review of all such cases, which was 1,500 nationwide.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing that I don't understand about that whole ruling is how they didn't even do it case by case. They just said all of them.
All of them you can't give, because they said this is what the court says, Supreme Court. Given juveniles' brain immaturity, the Supreme Court ruled that there had to be an opportunity to consider mitigating factors as well as for later review of sentences of such inmates. That I agree with, later review, because when you're 16, maybe you'll be totally different when you're 50, but who knows. With possible relief for persons who had reformed. Because we're talking about, this is only for teenagers. So we're talking about someone, if they go in when they're 16, some of those people are going to be very different people when they're 45. You know what I mean? They might be worse people, but they might be better people. We don't know.
But we've also put them in a systemic problematic arena of America where they are going to be way better at being a criminal when they get out of there.
You know? Unless they completely went on the straight and narrow in there. So they said that, possible relief for people who have reformed. It said that, quote, children who commit even heinous crimes may be capable of change. So Draper and Adamczyk are among the cases the state courts will review under the ruling. The problem is the decision, it doesn't overturn the sentences. It just puts them up for review. It's not a retroactive thing where you're not allowed to sentence people, so all those people's sentences are vacated. It's not one of those. It's a review.
We'll talk about it later.
Exactly. Now, 2015, Adamczyk had gained a hearing for post-conviction relief, saying that he claimed testimony from character witnesses could have changed the outcome of the sentencing, but that his former attorney, against Adamczyk's parents' wishes, chose to not call these witnesses. He called all sorts of witnesses. They were giving him the same sentence as Draper, period. He was getting that.
There was changing anything.
He could have brought in the fucking king of the Mormon tabernacle, whatever the fuck, I don't even know. Not somebody that really exists. Someone could have came down with a big beard and a robe and a cloud behind him, and they would have said, life without parole, fuckhead. We don't care what you say. You see these videotapes? I want to punch this kid in the dick. And then he'd go, oh boy, yes, I shall kick him in thy dick as well. Where is he? Yes. So anyway, he does that. A hearing is Jesus Christ, man. Wow. It's so fucking stupid. So the Supreme Court makes a decision. The Idaho Supreme Court makes a decision upholding the district court decision. Adamczyk files a federal writ of habeas corpus in 2018, which he argues that the Idaho State Supreme Court denied his first appeal based on the theory that he wasn't presented to the jury. He also argues that he should be entitled to a new sentencing hearing because of the Supreme Court decision. Holy shit here. But federal magistrate judge Candy W. Dale presided over Adamczyk's writ, and on November 25th, 2019, she told him to eat dicks. Go fuck his mother as well, I believe, was there. Possibly. And the Supreme Court...
He does not sound Mormon.
No, I doubt it. And the Supreme Court was holding oral arguments about... Hell yeah. Yeah. Which is another juvenile life without parole case that could have an effect down the road on Adamczyk and Draper's sentences. So this is not over. No. They're going to be doing this with sentences
for a while.
Forever. Because there's always going to be the youth thing. Now, there was a change.org petition.
To do what?
To get Tory a new trial. Tory Adamczyk's family, there's Tory is innocent websites and all this shit where they explain how he was just, duped into this by this terrible other kid. And it's like, no, they're both pieces of shit. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. They're both just as guilty. There's a change.org petition to get Tory a new trial. It's closed now, obviously. Yeah. It only had 85 supporters.
His family.
Guess what? Not enough, asshole. That is Idaho, guys.
Wowza.
That is Chubbuck, Idaho, and that is a case of two complete fucking assholes.
That was a Chubbuck one.
That was a Chubbuck.
It's
thick and Chubbuck.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Jesus Christ. That's one of those cases where, we've been telling some panhandly white trash shit, and we try to do a variety, but this is one where, this is just the pop culture and everything else of it. And don't get caught up in this shit, everybody.
This is why you don't listen to the radio. You don't watch just the movies that are in movie theaters. Fucking go find some flavor.
Yeah. Go do something.
Dig deeper.
Yeah.
Be a person.
Listen to murder podcasts where they make fun of the murder and you go, well, Jesus, I don't want to be mocked and fucking ridiculed afterwards. Because Ted Bundy, they're like, he was evil and he was terrible. They want to be called those things. They don't want to be made fun of like we're making fun of them, saying that their asshole looks like a handful of fucking ham thrown against the wall. That's the shit that will prevent people from doing crimes.
Right.
Make them listen to this, goddamn. Force murder convicts to listen to Small Town Murder, or force people who are going down the wrong. This is a Scared Straight program for youth. You're like, oh shit, they're going to be so mean to me.
And Ted Bundy, by the way, who prided himself on his fucking physique and his appearance, and he was super vain.
Yeah.
His death, in the death picture after, he looks like he's 95.
Oh, he looks terrible.
An electric chair will fuck you up.
Fuck your shit up. So if you like that, if you want to share it with some youth of today, please get on Apple Podcasts, that purple icon, and give us 5 stars. We would really appreciate it. Also, you can say whatever you want. Say it's dark in here. Let me out. Please. I'll give you a review, I promise.
Turn the lights back on.
Turn the lights back on.
Somebody hit the breaker.
Please. Go over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Get all of your stuff, all of your merch. We have so much new merch up. All of your crime and sports stuff, everything like that. Also, listen to Crime and Sports. What are you waiting for? God damn it. It's funny. You like funny stories? Guess what? We've told 209 of them, so get on there and listen to that shit. This week we have a crazy special Lenny Dykstra edition.
I can't wait.
Yeah, we were on the phone with Doc Gooden recently, so we'll put it that way. That's the type of thing we got going on. It's going to be awesome. Crime and Sports this week.
Having a conversation with Lenny himself on the phone was wild.
It was interesting.
It's bizarre.
Do that. Listen to P.S. I Hate This Movie every Friday, where myself and my wife Sarah, we go over and just skewer romantic comedies and have a good time with that shit. You can check that out. We did The Room last week, and we had a blast doing that, forcing her to watch it. So check that out. Do everything like that. If you want to be a hero of ours. Well, actually, first, if you want to follow us on social media so you can find stuff out about the show, you can do that real easily. It's at Murder Small on Twitter, at Small Town Pod on Facebook, and at Small Town Murder on Instagram. Christ, that's hard to... They're all different. Fuck. It's not easy. You can do that. If you want to be a hero of ours, be one of our producers who will not only be a hero of ours in our hearts, but we'll talk about publicly on the show and rave and rant about on the shout outs. And also, these people will have access to amazing, cool bonus features, all sorts of neat stuff. We try to put up different stuff every week. There's all sorts of stuff on there. Get access to the whole back catalog at the $5 level. You can do that very easily, which is it's patreon.com/crime and sports.
There it is.
That's easy as can be. Or you can go to PayPal, make a one-time donation. If you just want to be a producer, use our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com to do that.
Right.
That's all fun and all a good time. This week's bonus episode is about weird small town festivals from around the United States.
Great.
Because we always have a good time talking about those. So we'll do that. And that's about it. I need to hear names, Jimmy. I need
got a list.
Fuck, man, dude.
There's so many.
I'm sorry, man. You know what? I'm gonna videotape you saying them, and I'm gonna be laughing and acting like a douchebag. Hit me with the names of the best fucking people in the world right now.
This week's executive producers are Linda Campbell, Jordan Bennett, Simon Shedd. Happy birthday,
hey,
buddy.
Happy Simon.
Jordan's
happy
husband.
Birthday.
Christina Ridenour, Connie DiMetzenary.
Nice try.
Ryan Dempsey, Crystal Gennaro, Erica Hawk, Laura Bergen, Susan Olgis, thanks Susan.
Thank you.
Tamara Schlichter, no. Raja Milavarupu, Morris Sparkman, Kevin Bartlett, Eric Thompson, Vanessa Kors, Kimberly Baum, Devin Bilick, John Moss, what is this? What did I write? Khaki, Surratt, I think. Casey? I don't know what that is. Josie Davis, Toby Moulton, Greg Iotti, Leslie Buffoni, Brent Jorgensen, Audrey Fitzsimmons, Martha Castantosen, Heather Knight, Katie Wellhausen, Daniel Bilick, Hillary Hoyas, Ashley with no last name, Robert Hudson, Nick Nasaby, Bill Fisher, Hafid Cristobal, May McCorvey, Caitlin Logan, Amanda Davis, Marcin Chuck, and David Lukasik, I think. Probably not. Thank you guys.
Close
you guys
enough.
are fucking amazing.
Thank you.
Other producers this week are Lisa Bilick, happy birthday, Joey Everly Thompson, Thomas Smith, Travis Marshall, Robin Anderson, Joanne Ahern, James Martyr, Colorado Dragonfly, Jude Kendall, Jackie Sukup, Carl Kirshner, Christina Womack, Tricia Lilly, Aaron Davis, Ryan Shank. Oh boy. Asian Letters. That's who it is.
Asian Letters.
I
yes.
have Chinese House.
I love
E
when that
and a
came
G.
in. I love when that came in. I said, you can't even draw that, Jimmy. Never mind pronounce it.
That's what I did, is tried to draw it, and it's worse than my pronunciation. It probably says John. Josh Halsema, Christer, Joe Kennedy, Chrissy Sorensen, Ashley Henderson, Reagan Shaukley, Peyton Meadows, Tawny Wyatt, Jennifer Blakesley, Dewitt Destiny, Adam Dugdale, Catherine Fellows, Nathan Blaine, Jessica Stacy, Laura with no last name, Penelope Osaguera, Dick Minge, Lisa Cantor Jacobson, Jennifer Visconti, Molly McCarthy, Joy Pearson, Carla Ling, Cindy Wilkin, Brenda Likovich, Dean Reynolds, Brendan Hummel, David with no last name, Alicia with no last name, Solomon's World, Christina Rauscher, Yaviano Lorenzo, Jordan Cordova, Sean Watson, Jeremy Schweitzer, Kevin Eastman, Elizabeth Rankin, David Bagshaw, Patrick Lau, Susanna Platt, Chloe Carlson, and her partner's birthday is this week. Happy birthday, Ricky. Love you. Ashley Vio, Susanna Platt. I said that. Krista Walker, Lacey Ucharek, Ushrek.
Okay, it sounds hard.
It is. Bethany Moore, Destiny with no last name, Evan Grassel, Kayla Innes, Crystal Meehan, Ludo? Not Luda. No, I don't know. Trey David, I'm sorry. Ryan Covington, John Roberts, Allison Krause, Charlie Shute, Amanda Knight, Molly Stapleton, Rebecca Anderson, Sonia Smith, Nia Williams-Jones, David Owens, Tracy Poets. Annalise Benizzi, I think, Abby Tanner, Sarah Wolford, Robin O'Brien. No, that's Rob. Sorry, Rob. Talia with no last name. Chris DeYoung, Brad Cask. I don't know. Those might be H's or S's or H's. I don't.
You're all confused.
Cody Leversey, Avon Mergen, Joseph Lusk, King Jaguar, Mary Heist, Rachel Sutton, Ashley White, Kristen Miller, Janice Hill, Amanda Unger, Ethan Palmer, George Warren, Andrea Piersdorf, Laura Taylor, Leslie Marks, Jordan Hall, Sarah Surridge, Brooke Kale, Alina Farika. Probably not. Plino HLN. I hope that's headline news and somebody over there is watching or listening. Jeremy McIntyre, Zachary Swindoll, Sonny Sanchez, Sassy Richardson. No, I don't know what that is. Kristen Richardson. So hopefully they're related and she can tell that person that I actually do care. Kyle Parks, Damon, Ann Brooks, Emily Martindale, Jeannie Andrews, Chad with no last name, Samantha Gillen, Bethany Mavronicals. That's probably not right. Karina Whitmers, Cash Broods or Brodus, Hannah Winchester, Brian Call, Jennifer Lee, Sally Blotno. No, Blotty.
He gives up.
Rebecca Silverman, Liz Franklin, Sammy Joe, Andrew Wolf, Lacey with no last name, Scotimus Prime, Joellis Lopez, Taylor Brown, Nancy Batt, Joshua Lawn, Kathy Longstreet, Chrissy Pietzmeyer, Patrick Haggerty, Michelle Paranude, Tacy Schwartz, Heather with no last name, Mary Townsend, Lolita, and Alexandria Vasquez Salgado, Zach Halverson, Daniel Anderson, Heather with no last name again, Jen Papel, Lauren Kastenbauer, God damn it. Julianne Cook, James Warner, Aaron Kerr, Sarah Arundel, Christy Baxter, Amita Wild, Laura Steele, Taylor Odom, Anthony Litwiller, Michelle Maloney, Harriman, probably not, Drew with no last name, Marshall Howerka, Stephanie Martz, Brian Moran, Ray Demond.
Yeah, that.
Ina Schooner.
Doing great, Jimmy.
You see me at the end of movies?
Killing it, brother.
Yeah, at the end of movies, I'm like, no. Richard Tabor, Trisha Mobley, Caitlin. I'm not giving that a shot. Caitlin Cody, Kat with no last name, Colin Kufal, Rory with no last name, Michael Hummel, Ruby Schaefer, Bridget Labady, Lisa Dominic, Dylan Cade, Alex Johnson, Joe Cassidy, Jeremy Goodson, Paul Clifford, Hill Doug, I don't know what I Laura Shart, that can't be right. Brown,
I can only hope.
Brandon Neff, Alexandra Pans, Megan with no last name, Monica Clementrude, I think, Candace Pitcher, Sam Azaro. Heather Ballack, Megan with no last name, Stuart Caswell, Alexandra Pans, Julie Crook, I think, Stupid Martins, I got that one, Kyle Needham, Ashley Curran, Ed Rogers, Brittany Dunlap, Sterling Stiletto, Catherine Rowe, Zach Hines, Heather Stibe, S Asia, I think, S-A-Z-A. Don't look at me.
Sasia.
No, but that it's
Zaza.
No, it's not one name. It's just S and the last name.
I don't know.
Think. I hope.
I'm confused.
All right, Maggie Smith, Elon, Oliveira, Jim Trask, Troy with no last name, Sylvia Smith, Rick with no last name, Sheila Johnson, Kara Slavonic. Chris with no last name, Chanel Mendiola, Chloe Ross, Rachel Sutton, Devin Hammond, Dylan Murray, Elisa, Pete, Ryan Gray, Allison West. We're almost done. I swear to God, we're not. Elizabeth Cunningham. No, it's not. Carmignani. That's not Cunningham at all. Nick Kritzer, Bryson Robinson, Kimberly Wolfram, Daniel Robert, Tiffany Gregory, Chris Lorenz, Victoria Leach, Robin Abler, Danita, Sharish, Nicole Gonzalez, Shane Hampton, Adam with no last name, Simply Woo, Mark Green, Emily with no last name, Joel Bonner, or Bonaire, or Boner. Ryan Riker Grimm, Tony Palmer, Elliot 94, Aiden Telhay, I think, Everything But the Girl, Wes Mitchell, Kate Pantel, Autumn with no last name, Sam N., David Lenker, Amanda Scaloud, Brianna Roscover, P. Lowe, Samira Russell, Elizabeth Rapp, Jennifer Bradbury, Christopher with no last name, Danielle Dominichik. Brianna Jarvis, Sharice Yang, Ken Thompson, Stephanie Rogers, Colin Ann Lindsay, Katie Prevost, Josh Smith, Brooke with no last name, Joe Jeffers, Miles Behrens, Chris Garver, Kellyanne Monias, David Hansen, Dustin Say, Megan Tyner, Nick Spencer, Jane Kish, Jackie Banks, Brian Spink, Orlia McDonald?
Sure.
No. Blanca Fuentes, Claire Koenig, Benita Langle, Mike Beveridge, Casey Hammond, Jesse James, Brian Keithley. I hope that's the dude that makes motorcycles. Jay Hawkins, Craig Nicholas, Lisa Janine, Ashley Legg, Tammy Joy Schlichter, Mitchell Berkey. That is the second Schlichter. I want them to be Art's family.
Is it Art's family? They're just like, you know what? Art deserved it.
Yeah. Jenna Pridey, Maggie with no last name, Kathleen Schweitzer, Schweitzner. Joseph Voigt, Varna Blocker, Marky Peterson, Ryan Wolf, Travis Tessier, Big J LRG, Kim with no last name, Melissa Rosario. Happy birthday, Gianna De Luca. She's fantastic. Thank you, Gianna. Jason Hobbs, Jessica Norton, Shelly Ann Williams, Kimber Street, Kayla Kovalian. Good Christ! How much is a Covillion? That's what I'd like to know.
I think in the Sims game it counts as
a whole lot.
You can buy a whole furniture thing with
Crystal with no last name, Latasha Campbell, Grant Evans, Charmel Issa, Dylan Christian, Phil Jenner, Sharon with no last name, Jesse Medina, Hugo Gregory Taylor, Jeremy Jacques, Jack Mehofer. Oh, I got you, bro. Maybe I will if you'd like. Adrian Cathy, Meredith King, Aubrey with no last name, Grant White, Grant with 2 T's. That's a bullshit spelling. Katie Seal with that's her last name. Pot Valley 8, Deb Pinto, Ashley Williams, John Schiffer is celebrating his 30th anniversary and did it by donating to us because it's in quarantine and he can't take her anywhere.
Thank you.
Congratulations, John, and your wife. Jen Vogel, William Blood, Pamela Radford. I said and your wife because he didn't tell us her name. That's a growing problem, by the way.
No name.
They love to be like, please say something to my wife. And then they go, she'd love to hear her name. Signed, Joe Schiffer.
Yeah, thanks. Joe Schiffer's wife. Appreciate it.
The Joy of Flex. Do you see that? Because there's the Joy of Sex. That's Kevin Michael. Brandy Perry. Blair Hoffesmeister. No, Homeister. Katie Middleton, Ryan Benner, Katie Hewells, Shadow Exceed, Ashley Smodich, Sam Kears, Shelley Steed, Mike K, Jessica Newman, Glenn Moir, April Kazier, Latasha Miller, Owen Brick, Rachel Benson, Austin Kukul Doll? Probably not. Megan Sheik, Christina Carpenter, Ben B, Alex Wickenkamp, Ben Williams, Lexi Lovell, Jennifer Falco, sorry. Tyus Perez, Jake with no last name, Brent Slowtuggan Jorgensen.
Perfect.
Tommy Nash, Justa Mankira, Ben Story, Jed Llewellyn Lewis, Michael S. with no last name. S, I guess his last name. Jason Kluga, Lauren Columbo? No, I don't know what I did. Columb? Probably not.
You know who you are.
Chris Kaiser, Charlie Butel, Amy Clifford, Travis with no last name, Drew Statham, Aaron with no last name, Nicholas Holt, Harmony Fisher, Phoebe Taylor, Jenny Lang, Amanda... so that's the last part I'm going to get right. Soviardi? No. Natasha Jenkins, Jody Rusk, Mike Italag? Sarah Rose Dugan, Erica Honecker, Alicia Storm, Julie Stoltz, Jason McNutt, Gabe with no last name, Demi Walmsley, Lindsay Austin Brunton, Jessica Archer, Tim Westcott, Brent Ansel, Rita Merritt, and Taylor, probably of the clothing store.
I was going to say probably. Designer.
It's an amazing person. Katie George, Oscar Lundell, Amy Hunt's 44. She sent us a really nice email. Thanks, Amy.
Thank you.
Laura Norris, Anastasia Bergmeyer, Kelly G, Lisa Robinovich, Emma Scott. I said Laura Norris, Darwin Heron, Ryan Swift, Joshua Hinkmeyer, probably. Candy Carpenter, Kylie Schlabick, nope. Morgan Thumel, I think. George Ingram, Duncan Black, Christopher Johansson, Harrison Evers, Giovanni, probably. Fulton. Poor Giovanni. Married a dumb white person with a shit white person. Probably had a great Italian amazing last name.
Why would Giovanni change his last name?
To Fulton? Because it's a girl, right?
Giovanni?
I don't know.
No, Giovanni is a boy.
Giovone.
Oh, Giovone is a different name. Giovanni is a guy.
Probably married a dumb hillbilly with Fulton as last name.
Probably it.
Probably. Derek Adams, Caroline with no last name, Jack Walker, Cupcake, whoever that is, Byron Woods, and all of our Patreon donators. You guys are amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Yes. From the bottom of our hearts. Shit, do we appreciate it? Honestly, I don't know. Fuck shit, we appreciate it all. Thanks everything that you do for us, because it really does means the world to us. We're not on the road right now. It helps. It really does. Thank you guys for literally keeping the lights on and the studio going. So
you make life able to live.
Yeah,
so thank you.
You make rent be paid.
Right.
Therefore, shows can be made.
Yeah.
So rent's paid, shows made. That's how it works. So thank you guys for keeping that going. We really, really do appreciate it. What if they appreciate you, Jimmy? How the hell can they tell you?
How many shows do we have? I've told them enough. Where can they find you?
I said it before. I'm at Jimmy P is funny at the thing, and I don't know. It doesn't matter. You'll find us eventually.
I'm around.
You know, if you want to look for us, you'll find us.
You'll find me.
You'll find me. I'm around. I'm out there. Just go on the corner and yell. We'll come around sometime. Ask if anyone's seen us.
My phone number, you can text me.
It's all good. We don't fucking care. That said, by the way, we didn't win Webbies, but thanks for voting, everybody that voted. We won shit. But our entry fee did go to promote Tom Hanks and Cardi B. So
that was nice.
That's terrific. Yeah. We're really happy that a couple underdogs
Congratulations.
that don't get any.
It's about time he gets a break.
It's about time that a couple people who don't get any breaks in the media, really get zero attention, can shine. Yeah. Thank you guys. People like us don't need it.
No.
We can go fuck our mothers.
He's fucking beat coronavirus. He needs this too?
That's right. He needs to take Webbies from people as well.
He should have to sit on a fucking deserted island for this. For stealing from us.
Peg him with a volleyball. Jesus Christ.
Enjoy your moment,
That's
Tom.
right. That said, everybody, until next week, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus